This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
points, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
From beautiful Hialeah Park. Come on out here and join us like we are every single Thursday out here having some fun. And, of course, the man, the myth, the legend that is Sean Stanley. He is, of course, driving the program and driving the platform every single day. Hope you all are doing well. Well, it looks like you're stuck with me for a couple more days at least there, Sean. All right. Just, yep. We went to get our checkup to see how the ticker is doing, and the heart is all right. So we're all right. Actually, went get a stress test and all that good stuff. The cardio, what was that called? The something cardiogram or whatever the hell it is. What's Florida Sports Buzz? I don't get it. Mace. They did. Oh, the Dolphins. The Dolphins have fired Josh Boyer. Apparently, that's what Barry Jackson is reporting, that the Dolphins have fired Josh Boyer. So okay, so we got a bunch of people here. Okay. So Josh Boyer has been fired, so there'll be a lot of happy people out there. That tells me there must be something brewing. Steve Gregory, the outside linebackers coach, Ty McKenzie, when he didn't like credit Boyer personally when they asked him, you kind of knew it, man. Coach Steve McKenzie, only one season, by the way, with Ty McKenzie. Boyer was involved in both the hirings of Coach Austin Clark, Anthony Campanelli, both holdovers from Florida staff, and Sam Madison, a McDaniel hire, remain. So apparently they have dismissed safeties coach Steve Gregory. Okay. Outside linebackers coach Ty McKenzie. And that's it. All right. DL coach Austin Clark and Anthony Campanelli, both holdovers from Florida. So they didn't fire those guys then. That's what. So it looks like those guys are staying there right now. So Josh Boyer, Pat Surtain leaves to FSU. Josh Boyer gets fired. Steve Gregory, outside linebackers coach, gets fired. So there we go. History in the archives. They are done. So they will move on. So that tells me that there must be he must have contacted a veteran coach somewhere. There must be something already brewing. Because notice he hasn't released a special teams coach yet, right?
Yeah, no.
So he doesn't have a replacement for him yet, but he must have the replacement for Josh Boyer already kind of lined up.
It's I don't know whether to say this because this is like a little bit of. Barry also went on to say, as for Boyer replacements, well regarded, of course, the name that was going to come up, Vic Fangio, a defensive coordinator often linked to McDaniel, already is interviewed for the job in Atlanta, strong considered for job in Carolina, and also been linked to Sean Payton, wherever Payton ends up.
Right.
So, and then I'll keep updated as there's a bunch, everybody's throwing out things now, so.
There we go. Josh Boyer is out. You'd expect some changes because he inherited the special teams and the defensive coordinator. And no surprise there, I guess. Josh Boyer is out. History in the archives. Poor guy. I feel bad for him. I don't think he
ends up being the scapegoat in a way, right? I mean,
these are, remember, the idea was this way you don't have to think too much about this season. Just let that stay the way it is. Judge at the end of the year. If you want to make changes, go ahead. But for now, fix the offense, fix the quarterback, fix all that stuff. And then at the end of the year, you can assess what you have, and then you can keep what you want and you can get rid of what you want. And then that's what's happening now. And so now he's getting rid of what he wants.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you knew it was coming. You knew everything wasn't going to stay in place regardless.
No,
right?
of course
I mean,
not.
you knew
He inherited it.
Yeah. So
there was going to be some changes overall.
I was kind of surprised too that what's his name turned down those interviews.
Well, again, I'm going to get into that now with the offensive coordinator. Carlos Alberto says Boyer wasn't the issue, but he is not the solution either. Better options available out there. Well, we hope so. That we don't know. We won't know until it actually happens. That's the thing. So, you know what I mean? Listen, in the end, once it's like when a new boss takes over a new company and they inherit a whole bunch of people and then they start cleaning house eventually, start making changes. And that's nothing new there. You know what I mean? So it's all part of the game. Alex Winley, by the way, is going to join us at 3:40. We're going to talk a little Inter Miami with her. She's got the Heron Outlet and also for Bleacher Report. At 4 o'clock, Marcel Louis-Jacques. We got some stuff to talk about with him at 4 o'clock. David Furones will join us at 4:30 from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. So we will have a couple of Dolphin reporters with us. Now that we've got some of this breaking news, we will be able to talk to them and get their thoughts on all of this stuff. So we will find out. What's your take with linebackers coach and assistant linebackers coach getting fired? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just these are all people he inherited, Dougie. That's the thing. You know, it's just like any new business. And you're going to make the changes that you're comfortable with. And maybe he's got some people in mind already and that he has, because you figure, okay, Boyer did a better job than Danny Crossman did at special teams. So they haven't fired Danny Crossman. That kind of tells me that the Boyer situation, he must have somebody in mind that he already talked to. You know what I mean? There must be something on. And that's where, because you know what it reminds me of? Manny Navarro, when he kept telling you the coaching changes will happen, but it's going to take a little bit. And Mario wants it to look like, you know, these coaches are finding places to go. So then you got to replace them, not necessarily firing people and all that. So he's kind of patient about that and lets that thing, you know, kind of take its course. And, you know, here, I don't think it's the same luxury. Right. But the you do have to kind of be, you know, you got to do your diligence here. Right. You got to make sure you've got the replacement for the person that you're firing. And so if you're letting go of Boyer, that kind of tells me you must have something already kind of halfway lined up now. Crossman hasn't been fired yet unless we find out something that, you know, he's been fired already and we haven't found out. But I know Sean is keeping up with the wire there just in case that does happen. But that tells me also that you haven't found anybody to replace Crossman yet.
No, and also if you're a DC out there, you got to like healthy. You got to like the Dolphins defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when they're healthy,
yeah,
it's a pretty damn good defense.
Yes.
And a lot of the core is young.
This is a good team, man. If it's healthy, man, this is a good team.
And a lot of the core is young. I mean, that's the thing too, is
yes.
You know,
it's a sexy.
It's not like they're going tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sexy, and you have an offense that's going to score points. So if you're a defense, you're not going to be out there killing yourself, playing, you know, coaching your ass off. Your guys are playing, and then on the other side of the ball, they can't even do their part, and you got to carry them. That's not the case here. So that'll be pretty cool. Lovie Smith is not bad. That would be good. I don't know what the relationship is with Lovie and Mike McDaniel. Let me see. I'm trying to think of, there's no connection, I don't think, with Marvin Allen or Reggie McKenzie with Lovie. That's interesting. I like Lovie. That would be an exceptional move if they can get Lovie Smith as a defensive coordinator. The Fangio thing, That's the lazy name. Everybody has that name. Everybody uses that. But he's been linked to other people. So I don't know if he's waiting for Sean Payton, if he's talking with another coach, or is it still an option with McDaniel? See, you have to fire Josh Boyer if you can get a established guy like Vic Fangio or Lovie Smith. Firing Josh Boyer for another up-and-coming coach, I think that might end up becoming a mistake, actually. You know what I mean? Because Boyer's a young guy that's also learning too. And I don't think he did a bad job, actually, considering everything that he had. So I understand if you bring in a Fangio, a Lovie Smith like that, you know, what are you going to do? Those are some of the best defensive coordinators in the last 25 years in football, period. So if you get to hire one of those guys, you got to hire one of those kind of guys because they're few and far between, those kind of dudes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, listen, to me, as I told you guys, this season, they didn't reach what we needed them to reach, but I'm blaming, a lot of it on the injuries and then young head coach making some mistakes. I really like the potential of this team. I don't really want to change a lot. I'd like to see the front office just add a couple pieces to it, and then hopefully you have the right coaches to kind of take them over the top. We all talk about a middle linebacker. We all talk about a blocking tight end that's also, can pass catch too. Those kind of things are obvious that you need. You're also going to need a returner on this team. It would be nice to go get yourself a returner. There's several things that they can go out there and get to help themselves. The good thing is they'll have the money to get all of that stuff. So that's actually really, really cool in the process. So we got some of that breaking news. All right, let's get into some of the other Miami Dolphin news that broke yesterday. Daryl Beville, the quarterback's coach and passing coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, has an opportunity to go interview with Washington and with the Jets for the OC job, and he has declined. Now, let me explain something to you all. That was a really smart move on his part because they can pay him the same kind of money here that he's going to get there. If that's what it is, they'll give him a raise here. Stephen Ross won't even blink to give him a raise if that's what the front office wants him to do to take care of Daryl Beville. Plus, he got along great with Tua Tagovailoa, had a great relationship. And if you're Daryl Beville at this point in time, are you really going to be able to prove yourself as an offensive coordinator with a Jets team that doesn't have a quarterback? How does that make any sense? So when they tell you, well, no, this is an upgrade, he gets to go as an offense. Yeah, it's by title, but I got to go to Washington and they don't have a quarterback. What am I going to do? How do I prove myself as an offensive coordinator? Right? So really, Daryl Beville hasn't been offered a job to be an offensive coordinator somewhere where he actually can survive and prove his skills. That if he wants to prove he's going to be a good offensive coordinator, then he's got to be a part of a good offense. Now, here's the caveat to all of this. What if McDaniel says, Bev, hang in there, man. Just give me one more year and let me do this thing and I'll hand over the reins to you. And maybe he gives them the opportunity to be the offensive coordinator here. But right now, if you're Bev, why would you leave Tua to go to those other two situations that have no quarterback? At least when Tua is healthy, you're putting up like all kinds of numbers. And you proved like you can work with Tua, you can work with other terrific quarterbacks, but why would you want to go somewhere where they have some bum-ass quarterbacks? Hell, Washington doesn't even have Taylor Heinicke anymore. He's a free agent. He might go back. I don't know, but still don't have him right now, and that's not necessarily something that is going to convince an offensive, I got to go there. Taylor Heinicke's there. He's going to really make me look good. No, Taylor Heineke has been serviceable. You can win some games with him. But I think it speaks well of the Miami Dolphins offensive situation that Beville chose to stay here. I think that's big. Now, if he gets offered a gig where there's an established quarterback and a head coach that's pretty entrenched, let's say, safe, I wonder if Beville will think differently about that kind of an offer. But if you are honest with yourself, even if you're a Jets or a Commanders fan, why would he take a job with a team that doesn't have a quarterback? That doesn't make any sense. Mike White is not bringing any kind of offensive coordinator over to the New York Jets. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to work with Mike White. I hate doing that, by the way, because I treat them like every other quarterback that is kind of the jag. But the problem is Lamar's from here. Mike White is from here. Who's the other kid that's from here that is just there's one more kid that's just like, and he's from here. But it's just one of those that I hate that because I have to then treat him like every other guy that I would think is a jag. And Mike White is nothing. Nothing. He's not going to attract any kind of offense. Oh, my God, yeah, definitely. I can have a prolific offense with that guy. Nobody's saying that. Nobody in their right mind is saying that. Okay? Only delusional Jet fans and a couple of you out there who really don't watch football. But you heard he's from Pembroke Pines, so he must be absolutely fantastic. Right. So to me, that's the good thing, that the Beville situation, it shows that he knows that this is a pretty good situation for a coach. And if he's going to leave, it has to be something that actually gives him a chance to succeed. And the Jets' offense and their quarterback situation does not give anybody a chance to succeed. And the Washington Commanders, I was about to say it, they don't give any offensive coordinator a sexy destination that, oh, my God, I've got a coach there. That's just not the case. So it's pretty cool to see Bev turn down and decline, and he plans to stay with the Miami Dolphins. That is a really good move overall. So there you go. Griffin, we know about Boyer getting fired, but thank you. Yeah, what a shocker. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you. We just were talking about that a little bit ago, about Boyer getting fired. Poochie says, I know, like Boyer, I wasn't that down on him, but question he would call cover Owens in end zone. DB's 15 yards off the ball with other teams 10 yards away from scoring that Chargers game. Either way, bro, all those things you guys can point at, little things that don't work. In the end, the entire game, he gave his team every single week a chance to win. The defense did not lose one game. Those are the facts this year. Not one game was lost by the defense. There was never a game the entire season that the offense had it going, and they were great, and the defense completely gave up the entire game. Not one time. It only happened twice for a half. You know which were the two halves? Baltimore and Detroit. And then what happened in the second half? Defense completely shut them down. Offense got back into the game and won the game. That's the amazing part. Not one time did that defense cost them a game. Not one time. Every single loss is all on the offense. Every single one. That's the amazing part about all of that. But hey, man, not surprised that he would get fired because you inherited the guy. But, I'm actually more surprised that Crossman hasn't been fired. Yeah. Or maybe we wait till closer to the Senior Bowl when he's able to talk to some people over there in the Senior Bowl. And we'll find out. We'll see.
I love Twitter. I missed this one.
Why?
There's an NFL contributor. Then again, I don't know whether he's right or wrong. I'm laughing at the comments. It says, most around the league believe Steelers linebackers coach and former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores will be the next Cardinals head coach.
Oh, God.
And then in the comments, it's got like Kyler Murray in week 3, and they're fighting like, it's all the fighting scenes. I was just laughing at them. I just can't see it, man.
I think I hate to say it and put it this way, but I think he's just a token interview is what I think is happening. You got to interview a minority, and why not bring him in? But nobody's hiring. I don't think he's getting hired at all. I don't think anybody would hire him as a head coach or a defensive coordinator right now. I don't. I really don't. I think he's just being interviewed because he's a minority. And so that's one that you call in, and that's all. Schwartz ended up getting the defensive coordinator spot over him in with the Browns. And I could argue that Flores is a better defensive coach than Schwartz. And Schwartz is kind of a schmuck too. So whatever. But it is what it is. But people can say whatever they want. I mean, I read where Pro Football Talk had that they could make a move for Lamar. I'm like, bro, how stupid can you be? You know what I mean? But you got to fill space, and it'll get clicks because it'll get a bunch of you out there, to click it, actually believing that you got a shot at you're going to actually go for Lamar Jackson, which is a joke. By the way, let me talk about that. I got to say this. I cannot wait to see where the hot potato lands, and I can't wait for the exploding cigar known as Lamar Jackson lands with whatever team is stupid enough to trade for him, stupid enough to pay him, stupid enough to give up all of the picks that they want, because apparently the Ravens, if they trade him, one report says it'll be a first rounder, a high end player. Like, let's say Jason Lockham-Forrest said, if you trade him to Carolina, J.C. Horn, the number 9 pick, and another first rounder is what they would ask for, something like that. Like, if you're that stupid, I can't wait, because it's hilarious to me how many don't see that he's not a very good passer. And so now Greg Roman left. He didn't get fired. He left. Greg Roman left, and he left for new challenges and new opportunities. Do you know why? I'm going to take a guess. He's kind of tired of that limited offense. He's done a marvelous job with it, but it's all about running pretty much. And he probably wants to deal with a quarterback, a passer, actually. And he's kind of getting square pegged into that corner of who he is. And I think he wants to kind of get out of that and not make that what his identity is all about. Oh, no, he does really good with running quarterbacks. Let's go get him. That kind of stuff. So now I'm watching that the Ravens could trade Lamar Jackson. And first of all, I want to see who's stupid enough to trade him. Who's the one that's going to give him the contract and give up the picks so I can laugh at that team, okay? And, there's no shot I think it's here. But just so you'll know, I will be ripping the hell out of this organization if they would do something that stupid. I don't think so. I don't think they're that dumb to bring a guy over here like that, especially Mike McDaniel, who wants to pass a lot and accurately all over the place. Yeah, that's not the guy you want, actually, to run your offense. But it could be for me. I just can't wait to see who's the sucker that trades for Lamar Jackson, if they do. I told you this. It was a blessing that they didn't have to pay him for the Ravens. Well, guess what? You saw what happened when he tried to stay in the pocket. He was less effective this year as a quarterback, and he ended up injured. That's who he is. Okay? So if you think you can make him a pocket passer, good luck to you. You can go ahead and try. But it's just funny to see this whole story develop where Lamar doesn't get his money, and now they've got to find a way to pay him, and now they got to hire a new offensive coordinator, and Harbaugh is kind of still trying to massage him by, Lamar will help us decide who the offensive coordinator is. He's our quarterback. all that stuff. So without Greg Roman, what do you do? I can't wait to see how this whole situation with Lamar Jackson develops, because I know what the end result is going to be, and I'm going to laugh my ass off. That team that's going to be dumb enough to trade the picks, dumb enough to give him the contract, and then dumb enough to think that he's actually going to become an accurate passer from the pocket and win some games, because the running style, that ain't going to win you any championships. Your team better be so dominant. I mean, incredibly dominant. It's because think about it. Peyton Manning couldn't throw. That's the kind of team that Lamar Jackson can win with. The one that he doesn't have to throw much. He could just keep running, make a couple of passes every game. That defense, that running game will control everything. Just like the Bucs and just like the Ravens of the early 2000s, as they say. Can't wait to see who makes that mistake with Lamar Jackson. I'm going to laugh my ass off. Justin Floyd says, the question is, do you believe Boyer would give us a Super Bowl caliber defense? Not really. That's why people are glad he's out. Yeah, well, I'm not sure you know exactly who's the next guy that's going to provide a Super Bowl defense. Now, I know this. Did you think that defense was going to win a Super Bowl this year? The way it is and all injured? See, that to me, the dumbest thing is, okay, there is nothing dumber than the people that actually thought you could get more out of this defense. How about that one? If you thought this defense could be better than what it was, you don't know anything about football. No secondary. Got a couple stars that are pretty much non-factors in X and Chubb. Wasn't enough on this team to even be a good defense. That's the problem here. Too many people are unrealistic. Then again, some of you idiots just want to get rid of the number 1 rated quarterback in the NFL. And then get who? And you have no answers, because there are none. Okay? None. But hey, man, that's how it goes. Now, firing Boyer is not ridiculous. That I can't say, because the coach inherited him. So that's his right. And if he's comfortable with somebody else, that's his right to do that. I just don't think that Boyer was anywhere near as bad as people make him out to be. That's all. Nyborg says Lamar Jackson has missed 10 games in the last 2 years because of injury. You don't get away from that durability issue at quarterback by getting Lamar Jackson. Well, not only that, he can't avoid contact because he can't win from the pocket. So he has to run. That's the worst part for Lamar. He has to use his body, and that's not good. Eventually, you know how it is. Firing Boyer was stupid. He is the scapegoat. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go with stupid, but he is kind of a scapegoat for what went on. Because at times, I think, and especially in crunch time, I think McDaniel did way worse than Boyer. You know? Do I think McDaniel is protecting his job, blaming the defense? Ronald, there's no protecting. Nobody was firing Mike McDaniel anyway. He's the head coach. And he did an excellent job offensively. Game day, that's a whole different ball game. But all the potential's there. He communicates great with players. He gets the max out of them. He's a good dude. He knows quarterbacks, knows offensive line. They were incredibly productive. He's got to make the better game day decisions. That's it. That will take him to be from doing a solid job to being an excellent coach, basically. Carlos says, I'm not convinced either way. Boyer was fired as a scapegoat, but I don't think he deserves to be fired this season. You cannot cook a Love Star meal with what is it? You cannot cook I think you might have did some spell checking stuff there that might have screwed you. You cannot cook Oh, you can't cook a 4-star meal with 2-star ingredients. Gotcha now. That's what you mean. Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. Monty Kiffin. We back in the 90s? Griffin Gaming, thank you for the love in the super chat. We should walk into 2023 with the vape god Mike McDaniel and the man who concurs chew, Mike Zimmer. Jokes aside, wouldn't be a bad hire. No, Mike Zimmer is a defensive coordinator. I would love it. And then and his girlfriend can be in the stands. Hell, you can hire her to be a cheerleader. It's not bad. Big O, how do you compare Lamar to Kyler Murray? If I could get Lamar, you know what? I could create the perfect quarterback with Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. I could. I can't create the perfect quarterback with either one, right? Because Kyler Murray is too much of a kid. He's too immature. But Lamar Jackson is a stud. He's a tough guy. He's a leader. He's a winner. He works hard. He plays hard. If I could get Lamar's attitude and his size, okay, and then I get Kyler Murray's passing ability, then yeah. Because Murray's got passing ability. He can play from the pocket. His immaturity issues are, obviously a problem. When they put a clause in your contract that you've got to study, like no quarterback in the history of mankind has ever had that clause in there, because everybody knows the quarterback is supposed to outwork everybody and outstudy everybody and know what everybody else is doing. But Kyler Murray, of course, did not think about that, and so doesn't carry himself that way. That is true. Brian Flores as Kyler Murray's coach. Can you imagine Kyler Murray coming off the field like ripping into Flores? Oh, my God. Flores would punch his ass out. Okay?
But no, actually, now that I think about it, Flores would be covered because he can't make an offense. So he'd probably have 3 offensive coordinators.
That's
so
true.
Kyler Murray would have to get through 3 people before even getting to Brian Flores.
That's true. He may have 4 just to top what he did in Miami.
He's got to one up himself.
Right. Yeah. I think that may happen. But I could actually create a complete quarterback with the 2 because Kyler's actually a real passer. He has that skill set. Lamar doesn't. Lamar's an athlete passing the ball. It's a difference. Though he'll wow you every once in a while, but he can't play. He can't do it consistently. Kyler Murray's got it. But unfortunately, if you're not here, that's the part Lamar's got. Lamar has got all that winner attitude about him and everything. That's why he's gotten as far as he's gotten with the limited game that he has, which is the amazing part. He's so gifted, man. He really is. He is as talented as they get. If that kid developed a real skill set to pass from the pocket, oh my God. It'll happen one day. We're gonna run, eventually this is what's gonna evolve over the next 2-3 decades. We're gonna run into that young man that can run around kind of like Lamar. It's hard to say like Lamar because, man, that is fast. But he's going to be able to pass like Mahomes. That kind of deal. We'll get to that guy eventually. It's going to take a few more years, but we'll get there. Big O, why is nobody talking about our number one priority? We need a dominant O-lineman to protect and maul fools in the trenches. Everybody has talked about offensive line, my man. Middle linebacker, offensive line, returner, tight end. Those are all the things that people have talked about. But there's nothing to talk about right now because we're not in the draft yet. We still don't know who are all the players to declare for the draft. Okay? We still don't know who are all the players available in free agency and not. So why get ahead of ourselves and start talking about names? Some of them, draft-wise, if he's a senior, then, yeah, he might be available. And then we can talk about, will he be available for the 51st, the 77th, or the 84th pick in the draft? because that's where Miami is picking, 51, 77, and 84. John Geeb says, I bet a poverty franchise like Texans, Jets, and Commanders would make the Lamar Jackson trade. As far as Boyer's bad luck with injuries, but I'm sure McDaniel probably wanted to go his own direction regardless. I agree, John. I agree. I mean, I can't blame the guy like he did a bad job, overall. That I can't do. By the way, I do want to remind you, our friends at redrecover.com, we've been telling you about Red Recover and red light therapy, how it will help you in so many ways. And right now, the pads are 50% off. Go to redrecover.com, red light therapy. There are no side effects. It's great for everybody, for the kids, for the adults, and how about your dogs? We use it for our big dogs and our little dogs for their hips, man. As you all know, that they usually have some problems. Some dogs have with their hips. Well, Red Recover can help them with that. It can help you if you have an old injury, an old surgery. If you're looking to optimize your workouts and get the blood flow going, you can use the pads before and after your workouts, and you'll feel a lot different in your workouts. You're still going to have soreness, by the way. That comes with every kind of workout that there is out there. But this is the thing that can help you in so many different ways. We have a pad that the ladies can put on their face for the crow's feet and all that kind of stuff. Red light therapy, I use one to grow my hair back here. And like here, you see there's hair here. This is all bald, okay? It's still kind of, it's still not darkened in completely, but there's hair all over growing, which is pretty amazing. Red light therapy is awesome. It's even if you just had surgery, not an old scar that's already dried up and done, but if you just recently had surgery and you're worried about a scar, or you're about to have surgery and you know you're going to have a scar and you want that thing to disappear, go to redrecover.com. Watch how red light therapy can help 15 minutes a day make that scar disappear. Yeah, literally disappear. So if you have an old injury, if you have an old surgery, whatever it is, you're dealing with pain and discomfort, we have a pad for you. My wife uses the ones for the bottom of her feet because she's a teacher standing up all day. So she gets the sore feet. She comes home. She uses the pad on each foot every single night, and it just does wonders for her. Go to redrecover.com, check out the video blogs, check out the regular blogs so you can find out about red light therapy and how it can make and help you in so many different ways, man. Check it out there at redrecover.com. All right. By the way, at 4 o'clock, we're going to talk to Marcel Louis-Jacques with our myedgedrink.com Miami Dolphins report. At 4:30, David Furones from the South Florida Sun Sentinel is going to join us. We are here at Hialeah Park having some fun like we always are every Thursday here in the second floor poker room. So come on out and join us. Got all the captain's chairs out here. They have the loosest slots in the state of Florida. First floor, there's like over 900 slot machines. And they've also got the smoking hot slots outside, which is an area where you can actually smoke, because inside Hialeah Park Casino, it is a smoke-free casino. So if you're playing poker or you're playing slots downstairs or anything that you're doing, you're not going to have anybody blowing smoke in your face, because it is a smoke-free casino, which is actually really, really cool. So come on out here and check out the amazing historic building that is Hialeah Park, and then the landscaping, everything is just absolutely beautiful. All right, let's switch some gears here. Give me 1 minute. When we come back, Alex Winley is going to join us from the Heron Report. Inter Miami has got some new additions, and they're getting ready for the new season. Should we be jacked for the new season? Alex Winley will tell us when we come back right here on the Big O Radio Show on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Sloman's, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
And we are back, hour number two, baby. Hour number one here as we wrap up hour number one. And Alex Winley is going to be nice enough to join us now to talk a little Inter Miami. I'm looking forward to the new season. Alex, how are you doing? Good afternoon, my friend.
Yeah, good afternoon, Orlando. How are you doing? I'm good.
I am doing good. Should I be jacked about
yes,
this
you should.
season? Should I? Because the Martinez signing, is that the thing that puts it over the top?
Yeah, I think so. I think they were after him for quite a while. Listening to Martinez during his press conference yesterday, he said Phil Neville, he joked about it, but Phil Neville was kind of after him. For a while, he admired him as a player, and so obviously when Martinez is available, Inter Miami's front office do everything possible to get him there. So. Having an ex-MLS MVP who's still only 29 years old. Yes, he's coming off a knee injury, but he's still got a lot of fire. Listening to him yesterday, he wants to win, he wants to score, and he'll bring that fire to South Florida.
How far is he removed from that knee injury and operation?
Well, it happened in 2020, so he's a couple years removed, but he has had cleanup surgeries and whatnot. So obviously he's not the Joseph of old, but he still can contribute at a high level.
What's talk to us? What do you expect from him? What would be your expectations, Alex, from him?
Well, for me, I think, scoring at least 10 goals, obviously he's able to do that. And obviously Inter Miami need a guy to replace Gonzalo Higuain in his run of form at the tail end of last season. And scoring 10 goals for Joseph is, certainly doable. Last season, he had a similar a goal rate. So, scoring 10 goals at least to replace some of Gonzalo's goals alongside Campana, I think they'll make a really good strike partnership.
Campana, where's he at? Because that is one kid that wowed us, Alex. And then the poor young man just battled injuries all year long. Like, you can tell me about Robbie Robinson, and I'll never get inspired ever again about that kid because I just don't think he has that it quality. I don't see that edge that he played. Campana played with that edge, and then he just ran into all the injuries. Where is he physically right now?
Yeah, last week we actually got out to a training camp and a training session, and I'll be there tomorrow. He looks super fit, coming off that injury. Obviously, it's unfortunate for him, but I don't think he's an injury-prone player. I do think Inter Miami's staff kind of rushed him back a little bit because, last season it was only really him and Gonzalo scoring. So I feel like they did rush him a little bit, and that's why he had those recurring muscle injuries, which are really tricky, especially a guy his size. I think he's about 6'3", and he's quite physically big. So I do think they rushed him back a little bit, but yeah, he's fit. He's ready to go. He's motivated. I know he was snubbed from that Ecuadorian World Cup roster, so obviously he's going to come back this season just looking to continue that form that he had in 2022. So yeah, he looks fit and he looks super prepared. And Miami haven't officially announced it, but yes, he's going to be signing a new deal, obviously, and be with the club for a longer period. So yeah, expect big things from him this season.
Well, and Alex Winley, by the way, you could follow her on Twitter like I and many others do at AAW_1998. And also subscribe to the Heron Outlet. They do a great job of covering the team on a weekly basis. And you can catch her work there also at Bleacher Report. Now, Alex, when we talk about Martinez, we're not looking at a guy that's a 20-plus goal scorer. We're not looking at a guy that's going to be necessarily carrying the team. So it's really important that Campana comes through, right? Is that kind of the way we're looking at it? That this is kind of the season where some of these other young guys are going to have to also. It's not going to be like it was all on Higuain. It's got to be spread out a little bit more, is what it seems.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're looking for. Obviously, like you said, I don't think Joseph will reach those 20 plus goal levels like he did back in 2018, 2019. Obviously he's coming off that injury, but I think, like I said earlier, if him and Campana can get 12 goals each, with a couple, like 3 from Robert Taylor or 4 from the new sign Nicholas Stefanelli, or even 2 from I don't know, guys like Ariel Lasador or Emerson. Just guys that maybe didn't play as well last season. It's obviously, it's their time to step up now. But as far as Martinez and Campana go, yeah, 12 goals each, maybe a little bit more. I don't think the load will they won't have to carry the load like Gonzalo used to do. But I think it's going to be nicely spared around the attacking front line. Having one guy score all the goals, it's nice, but like, we saw previously with Inter Miami, if Gonzalo got injured, they're kind of stuck. So a nice share of the goals between Martinez and Campana is what they're looking for.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Campana was injured,
Yeah.
which when if Higuain wasn't doing it, then you had nobody else. So okay, so we've got Campana, we've got Martinez. What's the deal with Pozuelo?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. So obviously, Phil Neville did speak about wanting to bring him back to the team and wanting to incorporate him, and obviously Pozuelo. I mean, if you're a social media snoop, if you look closely at some of the photos he's been posting, it does look like he's training off to the side at Inter Miami's facilities. He's not wearing any team gear, but it obviously is the facilities. But yeah, they're working hard to bring him back, and I'll mention that Miami are still under the sanctions, so they don't have as much money as they would have, compared to normal MLS teams. But yeah, they're working hard to bring him back, and they want to bring him back. Even with Pizarro included, which was, they expected to move him on, but that didn't happen. They do have an open DP spot. Like I said, there's a lot of moving parts to this, and they are trying to bring him back.
Okay, so we can stop with the messy silliness then, right? Because I mean, no, it's just so silly. I mean, really, I just get tired of the story. And then if you watch him in the damn World Cup, it's like, did you watch him? Like he's gonna make
I covered it. Yeah,
in Europe still. There's nobody in the MLS is going to be able to make up the money that he's going to be able to still make right now for the next couple of years. So obviously it's not going to happen this summer. Like some people are saying, well, possibly his contract's up and in the summer he'll come here. Well, after that performance, and by the way, has that been finalized, the whole Saudi thing? Because I think I read where they were offering him like 250 million for the year or something like that.
Yeah, actually, nothing has been finalized. I know there are some reports about him being close to PSG, but several sources that I've heard, nothing has been completely finalized. Obviously, there is a likelihood that he does return to PSG, but Inter Miami are still pushing and seeing how that goes. And like you said,
you don't believe anything in the Saudi one where Cristiano went through, because they're paying him 100 million, and I think I read last week that the Saudi team that is the rival of Cristiano's team is willing to pay him 250 million a year.
Yeah, and obviously with just the DP spot, Inter Miami can't match that sort of money without, offering him, I don't know, like a slice of ownership, or MLS has to concoct another Beckham type of deal to get him into the league with that sort of money. So as far as that goes, I don't know, but that hasn't been finalized. And I think, Messi, obviously after winning the World Cup, he's just taking his time and assessing his options. I'm sure he'll renew or sign a new contract with PSG sometime. soon. But as far as Inter Miami goes, I think it will happen eventually. Maybe not this summer, maybe the next. But I do know Inter Miami's pushing hard, and whether they get a 38, 39-year-old Messi, they obviously want him to come here.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get him, but maybe a couple years from now, after he milks it for another $500 million wherever he goes, getting salaries and selling NFTs and all kinds of stuff. All right, so then walk us through here because you're a hell of a lot smarter than all of us with this whole DP stuff. What's your gut tell you? So if they do want to bring back Pozuelo, then that's Pizarro, Pozuelo, and Martinez taking up the DP spots, correct?
Not quite. So
Okay.
right now, Leo Campana, he will be a DP. Like I said earlier, that deal hasn't been announced, but he will be one of the DPs. The other DP will obviously still be Rodolfo Pizarro because they couldn't move him on. They could still move him on, but right now, listening to Neville and listening to players talk about him, it does seem like he's probably here to stay. And the third DP spot is actually open. So Martinez isn't a DP.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. The way the deal happened, I believe Atlanta bought him out, but they're sharing portions of the salary with Inter Miami. So I believe Martinez he's making below the DP threshold, which would have made him a DP. So right now he's not a DP. Looking at the deal, so they do have a DP spot open. He's not a DP. Joseph isn't a DP.
So you're
That's
telling me that the knee injury has brought him down to under DP level. Okay, I got you now. I
Yeah,
got
so, right now, he's not a DP at the moment, and yeah, you could say the knee injury definitely,
Yeah, because if
it
he was
hurt.
a
Yeah, yeah.
healthy guy scoring 20 plus goals, Atlanta might keep him, and then you really got to trade for him and give up stuff, and then it really would be a whole DP type of mess.
Yeah, and I
So
also
okay,
think,
okay, go ahead.
to interject here, the Joseph coming to Miami was more so a lot of, he just recently had a son as well, and the mother of his son lives in Miami plus Atlanta.
Corral.
There was some like conflict of interest there with the front office, and obviously he still loves the fans, but with their head coach Gonzalo Pineda, there was yeah, the relationship was gone. So obviously Miami was a natural fit for Joseph.
Okay, so that's cool. So yeah, now he can enjoy his arepas there
Yeah.
in Corral, which is absolutely fantastic. All right, so that's cool. So then Campana, Pizarro, and if they bring back Pozuelo, those are your DPs. So then the follow up, you know where I'm going now.
Yeah.
How in the hell do they unload Pizarro?
Yeah, that's the big question, honestly. I think everyone around Inter Miami expected Pizarro to get moved on, whether Monterrey picked up his option or he moves to another Mexican club. Yeah, it just didn't happen. And like I said last week, we are actually speaking with guys like Robbie Robinson, and we talked to Phil Neville about Pizarro, and they mentioned that they were, Neville said they see Pizarro as a new player, and he looks super motivated. Robinson said they were happy to have him back in the locker room. And this is an aside, but I do think that had to do with Gonzalo Higuain and Pizarro butting heads. So, but as far as that goes, yeah, if they move him on, obviously they'll have two DP spots open. But honestly, my gut feeling says they'll just keep him. It's his last season. It's last year on his contract. If they can get something out of it, sure, boost his profile. But if he's a flop this season, then obviously he moves on, and Miami will go into 2024 without sanctions and another DP spot open. So
He's not a bad player, Alex.
no.
The problem is there's a string tied to his foot in the ball. So like, it's like,
Yeah, I
that
feel you.
it's like it stays with him. He doesn't know how to get rid of it. And
Yeah,
those are the it's the he's like frustrating because
yeah,
the skill set is there, the ability is there, he knows what he has to do, but then all of a sudden he wants to get Mr. Creative, and it's like, yeah, no, I'll weave through 8 people to make the no, dude, just touch and
yeah.
go, and there's too much ball hogging going on with him, and so that's the frustrating part, with Pizarro. I don't know if that's changed. I don't know what you've been able to see in practice or anything, or I don't know what you've been able to hear about practice and how it's going with him, but that's the thing I fear that's not a guy that's going to help Phil Neville and his team right now.
Yeah, I will say that looking at him practice, he does look really motivated and fit, and he looked very personable with the rest of the guys. So yeah, your complaints are valid. They're definitely valid, but like I said, Neville has shown that he's able to kind of man manage, with the Higuain and all that stuff. So if he can be the Pizarro whisperer this season, and he can and Pizarro can be a little bit more active in the final third, then maybe his ball hogging tendencies won't be as felt as they were in previous seasons.
Hey, listen, we were marveled with the way Phil Neville, who picked up a really dysfunctional situation and kind of had to be the tough dad in the whole process, even with Higuain. And then he was able to kind of win him over and then get Higuain to play his best, football that he's played since he put on an Inter uniform. Who knows? Maybe Phil Neville's got that thing that he can reach people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Yeah,
he
I see.
reached this guy.
Yeah. He's grown as a coach even since his first season. Tactically, he's grown. He's a really good man manager. He's really personable, and hopefully this season they can continue that form that got them into the playoffs and build upon that.
By the way, I'm excited for Drake Callender.
Yes. Actually, we the Heron Outlet podcast, we just finished an episode this morning. Drake, he was in contention to get called up to the recent U.S. men's national team camp, but I believe they went with another goalkeeper. So yeah, he's on the U.S.'s radar. If he has another good year, hopefully I expect him to get a call up sooner rather than later.
Who found him, by the way? Do you know?
No, but I know he's from California. I believe he played with the Earthquakes for a little bit, and then it may have been Chris Henderson that brought him in. I'd have to double check. It's been a lot of turnover throughout Inter Miami's history, so I'd
I
have to
know.
go back and double
But
check.
can you imagine if they would have started with Chris Henderson?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I believe he was in contention. Him and
Yeah, he
Paul
was.
McDonough, the two of them, and they went with McDonough, and it is what it is. So
Yeah, man, it happened. Listen, everybody that starts a new business, you've never been a part of it, and you got to learn. You kind of live and learn, and you make your mistakes, and that's kind of what's happened. They lived, they learned, they made their mistakes, and now you can see that they're in an upward trajectory right now. And like you just talked about earlier, the salary limitations. This is the last year, correct, of that, right?
yeah, the sanctions, yeah, next year, 2024, they're free to spend. Well, obviously not spend a lot, but like their transfer allocation money, their allocation money, it'll be freed up, so they'll have a lot more allocation money to go and spend and really perfect that roster that they want it to be.
By the way, Frankie Fresco on the chat board is asking Alex, what is the chance that Inter brings in Falcao?
Oh, slim to none right now. Really, none, no possibility, especially with Campana, Martinez, Nicolas Stefanelli, Corentin Jean, the center forward spot. Heck, you can throw in Robbie Robinson. That center forward spot is really, like five guys deep right now. I don't see them bringing Falcao, especially on a DP. No, I don't see it happening.
You still have hope for Robbie Robinson?
Yeah, honestly, talking with him, I was standing there. He has a giant scar going down his right leg where the injury was. He spoke about how over that injury, he kind of found himself. He got engaged over the off season. He's calmed down a lot. He's been taking care of his body a lot more. He's been a lot more conscious about how it works. He's been eating healthy, doing yoga, and he seems very laser focused. That remains to be seen if it translates on the field, but yeah, he does seem like a new player. Phil Neville did say that they're going to gradually increase his minutes, so he doesn't get injured again. But yeah, he does seem like a more level-headed player than he was in previous years. But like I said, it's up to him to prove it on the field.
The fragility is obviously an issue with him because he's had several injuries. But I will not deny this about him. The ability is all there.
Yeah, for sure.
God, it is all there. And to me, really, I don't know about you, Alex. I don't know what you think the missing ingredient to him is. And obviously, he's got to stay healthy. Yes, we all know that. Anybody that follows the young man, But to me, it's all here. It's
Mental,
it's that. Pardon the word, but I think he needs to learn to be a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
agree. I think
You know what I'm
Robbie.
saying? You got to have that. I think he's too nice of a kid. Is the problem. And I think he hasn't grown up enough to understand that he is in a cutthroat business, and it has saved his ass that he's been a first rounder, and that's why he's stuck around for this long. But I just feel like if there was a mental adjustment to his game, like I don't know, you give him the attitude of Pozuelo. You give him the attitude of Drake Callender. You give him the attitude of Breck Shea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just give him that, like Breck Shea, God bless him. He has less ability than some guys, but because of his determination, his physicality, and then his just will. And that's what I think he kind of needs. He needs that edge that anybody needs in any walk of life, in any sport, in anything that you do. You got to bring some kind of an edge. And I think that that's what he's kind of missing in his game.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
concur. I agree. I think, like I said, him getting engaged, hopefully that'll just put some fire in his belly and he can kick on. And like I said, he'll have competition for his spot. So it's not like he's a foregone starter. There's Lassiter, Robert Taylor, Emerson. Miami may go out and get more players. I don't know. But there's competition for his spot. So he's not a starter. So he's definitely going to have to step it up.
Give me a young guy that we all should be looking at, Alex, before I let you go. Somebody that we haven't talked about that might be a little bit under the radar. Tell Inter Miami fans somebody they should be looking at on the roster.
Benjamin Kremeshki, he's a young player, homegrown, 17. He's out of Key Biscayne, really talented box-to-box midfielder, Argentine American. He said his favorite player is Rodrigo de Paul. So that tells you everything you need to know as a young player. He loves getting on the ball. Very very highly rated. He was called into the youth Argentinian camps a couple of months ago just to see where he's at. Yeah, he'll definitely get some minutes this season. Miami are going to be in a lot of competitions with U.S. Open Cup, Leagues Cup, the regular season, maybe the playoffs. So Benjamin Kremeshki, he's a 17-year-old central midfielder, and I think Inter Miami fans will be really happy with his game, his play, and he's a local player, so they'll have some pride watching him on the field.
By the way, you can follow Alex on Twitter at AAW_1998. And we suggest that all of you out there, you want to follow Inter Miami, make sure you follow the Heron Outlet, the podcast. And Alex, tell them about the Heron Outlet.
Yeah, the Heron Outlet, we're basically a podcast, and now we just recently launched our Substack as well. So basically, the most comprehensive Inter Miami coverage. We have exclusive interviews. We're growing the base a little. Scouting reports, news, analysis, literally anything that you want to know or need to know about Inter Miami, you can find it on the Heron Outlet Substack. So yeah, it's just a good a place to learn and to get to know Inter Miami and to find all your news and analysis there.
Not good, excellent. Say it, Alex. Excellent place.
Yeah, excellent place.
There we go. Excellent coverage you get from the Heron Outlet. Alex, thank you for taking some time. I always appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this season, man. Looks like there's no drama going into this season, which is good because we've had enough already for a lifetime over there.
100%. All the guys look together, and it's a real family atmosphere this season.
I like it. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You got it. Alex Winley, follow her on Twitter, AAW_1998. Always appreciate her time. She is very, very in tune with the team and knows her stuff. Obviously, she's on this show, right? When we bring her on, it's because she knows her stuff. And she knows her stuff, man. Really, really smart. Good insight there on Inter Miami. Let's see. Ray says this should be a pretty exciting Inter Miami season. Definitely they can make some noise in the playoffs now. Just a little luck, right? We just need guys to stay healthy. And Campana it's very important Campana stays healthy because, that's why I wanted to bring her on to talk a little bit about Josef Martinez because he's coming off that knee injury and it was 2 years ago, but he has never recaptured that form of prior to the knee injury where he was just a wicked goal scorer. Now you're hoping that he can produce enough, but you're going to need other guys. And that's kind of why we wanted to get into this conversation. And Campana, to me, is incredibly important that he stays healthy because that kid was looking really, really good last year. He was looking like he was going to become one of the better goal scorers in the entire damn league at the pace he was going. And then, unfortunately, all the damn injuries, man. That really sucked. Kind of hurts. Dean Pease is available. Yes, he is. AAW is very close to AEW. Maybe she's a wrestling fan too. Maybe. I don't know. Not sure. Lofi says, now we go after Lamar or some other top QBs. Let's make the push. Oh, please, Lofi, don't make me sick to my stomach. Lamar. God. Ugh. It would be such a joke to get Lamar. Then I would know we're not going anywhere. I would be convinced we're not going anywhere with that guy. He couldn't pass out of a paper bag. Thomas Jensen, we all know the new coordinator is hired. Which one had the authority? Is it a promotion like someone on the 49ers defensive staff? Then I think it was McDaniel. I don't know. Well, you won't be able to get any of those people till after they're done. You know what I mean? So we'll find out. Big ol' Mike Zimmer would be good, but it seems that he is joining Deion Sanders at Colorado to become their D coordinator. Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right. I remember reading that Mike Zimmer was going there. Yes. I read that. No, he's right. I read that Mike Zimmer accepted a job with the staff at Colorado under Deion Sanders, which is, by the way, it's a hell of a move, right? He's a defensive coordinator, and he coaches a tight end at home. Anyway, let's get ready for hour number 2 of the program right here on the Big O Radio Show, live from Hialeah Park on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
points, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's ESPN Dolphin insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
All right. There he is, fresh, writing off some stories. Tell you, did you talk to Josh Boyer? Did you give him a postcard? Did you tell him thank you for all the memories? He can't hear me? Marcel, we can't hear you.
I said I've not spoken with Josh Boyer in quite some time, but
you didn't share a beer with him before he left?
No, maybe at the combine, man. If we had both made it over there, but
he might be there.
No,
he might be there.
Yeah, actually, he probably will be.
Or I might see him in 2 weeks looking for a job in Mobile, because that's where
you go.
That's the sad part of Mobile, that there's a lot of coaches trying to find work in Mobile. So,
yeah, man, dude, my first ever trip to Mobile, I forget what his name was, man. He used to work at Colorado, right? He got fired for
Rick Neuheisel? No,
it was something like illegal. It had nothing to do with football. It was like harassing his ex-girlfriend or DV or something horrid, man. And I had no idea who this guy was. So we're like carrying on this conversation, and ex-girlfriends come up, and I was fresh out of a relationship where, I got done pretty dirty. And so I brought that up, and he was like, man, if you think you got done dirty, Google my name whenever you leave here and wait till you see how they did me. Man, when I Googled his name, I damn near had a panic attack. I thought my career was over. It was like people just saw me talking to this guy. Like, I don't want to be associated with him, like, at all. I have no idea who he was, man. And he's getting no accountability for it. It's like, shit, man. Get me out of here. Get me out of Mobile. I'm clearly. I don't need to be here. I wish I remembered his name, but also
Joe Tumpkin.
Sounds, yeah, that sounds about right.
We just looked up the story.
Yeah. I was like, that's it for me. Mike Tomlin was 2 people down from me. Just saw me talking to Joe Tumpkin. Like, damn, man. Like, I'm texting my beat partner. I'm texting Jordan at like 2:30, 3 a.m. I was like, Jordan, I think I fucked up. I didn't even mean to do it. Like, I had no idea. I was talking to Joe Tumpkin. I didn't know he was Joe Tumpkin and this, that. And obviously, it was okay.
It happens. You might be able to get some information out of Joe Tumpkin from something else. You never know. So that's the good thing about those bitter people. They might share something with you in all of that. So, yeah, I've run into those kind of characters myself. In the past, and they're looking for second and third chances and that kind of stuff. So, yeah,
he was.
I'm with you. All right, so I don't think you're necessarily shocked that any coaches are going to get fired that he inherited, but your thoughts on the release of Boyer and some of the other assistants?
Yeah, well, look, it's now that this has happened, we can kind of start to unload the bag a little bit, empty the bag a little bit. They wanted Vic Fangio last year.
Right.
That's my understanding. Like, Vic it was supposed to be essentially a package deal. Vic was bringing Wes Welker, he was bringing John Embry, and that was going to be his starting. That was his base. Essentially, people that were not Mike wanted Boyer. And upon meeting Boyer, I don't think Mike had any objection to that. So I don't want to say he was forced on him, but it was not his original idea. That was not his original idea coming in here. I think if he had his way without meeting Josh, And if Vic was interested in actually being a coordinator last year, that it would be Vic Fangio in Miami. This is not to say that Vic Fangio will be the DC in 2023 here. Like, this is not a guarantee of that. It is only guaranteeing their interest. That is, they are interested in Vic Fangio. It's something that I've heard for the past month or so. I don't think it should be a surprise. Obviously, the reports out there are that he wants to go with Sean Payton.
Right.
It's my understanding that those might have been a little exaggerated, but we'll see, particularly if Sean Payton goes to Denver. I can't really see, could you see that? That'd be like Flores coming back here as a DC.
If you're Sean Payton, you got to be a moron to take the Denver job. You take the Houston job. You don't take the Denver. You don't take Arizona. Don't pick up Kyler Murray at this point because Payton and Murray are not going to mix. You don't go to Denver and then you're stuck to having to resurrect Russell's career. You go to Houston where they got the number 2 and number 11 pick in the draft. They got or 12, I think, or they have 11 picks in the draft, number 2 and number 12, I think it is. And they've got $40 million in cap space. Bro, you go to Houston.
Go to Houston. No state taxes. He already lives in Texas. Like
Fangio, yes. And Fangio,
that's a real threat for the whole Fangio Payton tank. That's a real threat. Carolina, real threat. A lot of cap space, a lot of picks. Open quarterback situation.
And Fangio already gets a few defensive players.
They got that my God.
That Banks kid.
Brian Banks, good. JC Horn, excellent. Who's the Jeremy Chin, the safety, kind of like a Kyle Duggar type. Excellent player.
Mm-hmm.
But Miami's not a pushover. Like, let's not forget. Like, this isn't.
No. It's a healthy defense.
Spare parts. It's not spare parts. With a healthy defense, you got legit stars. You have Bradley Chubb is Vic Fangio's guy. We can't forget. Yep. Obviously, you had Jalen Phillips. You still have Xavier Howard, who, when healthy, is still a star cornerback. They got Javon Holland. You still have Christian Wilkins. You got young developing pieces like Brandon Jones, Kader Kohu. Like, this is not something to scoff at. No state taxes here. Beautiful weather year round. Win a division where you can finish first or second. You can finish first or second.
And you have an offense that can complement you because you're not going to be carrying the team because your offense can only score 10 or 12 points. They can actually score some points for you, which will help your defense too at the same time. So yeah, there's a lot of sexiness to it. I just think he'll go with Peyton if Peyton is smart going to Houston. I think that's where they'll go, if anything, because that place is perfect, bro. It is set up perfectly to turn it around. If you have the right,
it depends on what Fangio is interested in, because Houston's defense is going to take a lot more work than Miami's defense. So it depends on what you want, what you want to do here. But McDaniel type of coach, you could say, Sean Payton. They're both respected enough that maybe Sean Payton says, "Okay, Vic, go do your thing." But ultimately, like, Sean Payton is Sean Payton. You could the ego is there. You see with this whole media tour, it's not normal for a head coach. Here, you work with Mike McDaniel. Mike's going to say, "All you."
Yeah. And by the way, the rumor is he wants between 20 and 25 million a year. Sean Payton.
I don't believe that.
well, apparently Belichick is making 20 million a year.
What, as like a head coach GM combo?
Whatever, bro. Belichick makes 20 million a year, so he wants to get in that neighborhood also, and that's what he's 20 to 25 million a year is what he's asking for.
I got what's it called?
Yeah,
that is Oh my God,
crazy shit, dude. Yeah, so that's also going to limit certain teams.
Pete Carroll makes 15 a year,
huh?
Pete Carroll makes 15 million a year.
I told you, dude. Yeah, you didn't realize that. You can thank college coaches for that. Because the agent said, well, wait a minute, hold on. So these college coaches are getting 10, 12 million. No. You got to pay my guy more. And now all these NFL salaries have skyrocketed. to the point that, yeah, man, the going rate easily is over $15 to $20 million now for the elite coaches, obviously, for the proven coaches.
Isn't it crazy that like those salaries don't necessarily have to be disclosed, but player salaries do?
Right.
I think it's so stupid. I think it's so stupid.
Well,
but yeah, I'm looking at the list now. Pete Carroll, 15, 14. That number's probably going to go up because he played out this whole retirement angle.
Yeah.
Tomlin, 12.5. Andy Reid, 12. John Harbaugh, 12.
It's cap related. Since it's not cap related, they don't have to release the numbers. And so that's why they can keep the numbers under the radar now. But yeah, all these proven guys, you're going to have to pay them a lot more money now, man. A lot more money now. That is, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. All right, so Daryl Beville. Now, did Daryl Beville turn down 2 jobs that he said, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I want to be an offensive coordinator, but you have no offense. You have no quarterback. So what am I going to go there to fail? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you want me too in Washington. And you have what quarterback? And so did Daryl Beville really like what he's doing here in Miami? Or was Daryl Beville not offered the kind of job that he says, yeah, I'll leave to be an offensive coordinator, but I want to go somewhere where there's actually a quarterback. See, I'm working with a quarterback now. I need a quarterback if I leave. So which one is it? Is it Daryl Beville happy to be here, or is it Daryl
Beville for the right offer and situation? If the offer and situation were good enough, then he would leave. If it was an offer he couldn't refuse, then he wouldn't refuse it. It's that simple. But I do think that there's some weight in.
Wait a minute. You're saying offer like in money, or you're saying
offer as in situation, money, all encompassing. Everything about the offer.
The money's all the same, bro. Washington.
Yeah,
and New York.
I wasn't talking about the money. When offer is in a situational offer, the all encompassing, the money, the location, the scheme, the personnel, everything. If it was a situation he couldn't turn down, he wouldn't turn it down. I don't think that we should discount him believing in what this offense can be and what this team can be.
Sure.
Because let's be honest, like the Jets job, yeah, you're gonna have to give some money back to the state of New Jersey, but you got pieces on that Jets team. You got pieces on that. You don't have a quarterback, but you can fix that this offseason. You can fix that.
You hope.
If you're the Jets with Derek Carr are a far better team than they are with Mike White. The Jets with Jimmy Garoppolo are a far better team than they are with Mike White or Joe Flacco.
For sure.
Like that, there are starting caliber quarterbacks available. I've said on the show previously that like when you were looking at this quarterback situation in Miami, when we're comparing Tua to Derek Carr and Tua to Jimmy Garoppolo, it's a no contest. There's no interest. When you're comparing Zach Wilson and Mike White, all of a sudden Derek Carr looks kind of good. Derek Carr's team looks really good with Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. Derek Carr loves his little check downs. Elijah Moore will eat over there. They still have Corey Davis is a good number 3. Breece Hall was looking like one of the better backs in the league. Elijah Vera Tucker was hurt. He's a good offensive lineman. Like there are pieces on that offense. Like don't get me wrong. This isn't the same Jets as last year or the year before, where if you're interviewing coordinators, you out of here. Delete this number. No. The Jets are an enticing situation. Washington, God, no, I wouldn't touch Washington right now. I wouldn't touch Washington.
They also have some offensive pieces, but they don't have a quarterback. And so to me, that's the ultimate, that's the end all be all. You gotta, like for the Jets, for it to all fall into place, you gotta get that quarterback.
I like the Jets situation a little bit more. I like their assets a little bit more. I don't know what Washington's got to offer. I don't know what they have in terms of cap space. I don't think they're paying too many people besides Terry McLaurin, right? Like that's
on their defense. I don't know. They got a bunch of young guys.
Jonathan Allen signed already?
I don't know. That's what I'm not sure.
Jonathan Allen might have signed.
They have a couple of guys on that defense that they're going to have to pay that are pretty damn good, bro. They got some guys on that defense, man, and I like the running back. But you're right. It's just and with
Jonathan
that owner,
Allen did get paid.
and with that owner, I would never go work for that clown. Never.
You would never. No, you would never get the top 5 highest paid Washington Commanders players. Are Carson Wentz,
Oh, the draft pick too that hasn't played much. What's his name?
Chase Young, but Chase Young is he's I think a $10 million cap hit. That looks like top 10, not top 5. Carson Wentz, Jonathan Allen, Curtis Samuel, Chase Rouillet. Bonus points if y'all could tell me what position Chase Rouillet plays. And Charles Leno. Same. Okay. Bonus points if you could tell me who either of those last 2 guys are without Googling.
A safety and a linebacker.
Center and a left tackle. I ruined the game. I couldn't help it. But I didn't know who the hell they were. So that's what the cap situation looks kind of nice.
I don't know those 2 guys, but then that means they're young guys. They haven't come up yet on defense. So, yeah, they're going to have to pay.
Well, actually, hold on now. $11.5 million of cap space estimated here, which means they could probably clear that to about 25 to 30, give or take, maybe even more.
That place is so toxic. If I'm a coach, I wouldn't want. If I was a player, I wouldn't even want to go there, bro. Unless you're drafted, you have no choice. But if I had control, I wouldn't want to. I would never want to be a part of the Washington organization. At least with the Jets, you talk about. There's a lot of good things. I like Salah. I like him as a coach. I like also Washington's coach too. I like Ron Rivera. I just don't like everything else around Ron.
I think Ron is an adult. But Dan Snyder is not.
No.
Unfortunately. And there's just going to be so many distractions, so many things you're going to have to be peppered with and asked about playing there. Like, oh, hey, what did you think about your strength and conditioning coach getting raided by the DEA?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to go play football.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like working for Intercom.
I know that guy was a
radio. Yeah.
Side note, that guy, Vermillion, certified a-hole. Couldn't happen to a worse person or a more deserving person. Respectfully, disrespectfully, I don't care. I did not like Ryan. Like, it couldn't happen to a better person. I had people on the Panthers beat that I shared the link whenever that investigation came out too. They said the same exact thing. Couldn't happen to a better person or worse person. Whatever.
Shit happens. All right. So now, one more thing before I let you go. The firing of Josh Boyer, but then so far we have not heard anything with Danny Crossman. The cynical one in me says the plan's in place already for the defensive coordinator. We can part ways. I don't have that guy's replacement yet. I can't fire him. Or maybe it's everything that we didn't think. Everybody thought Danny Crossman would be the first guy fired. Maybe they are going to stick with Danny Crossman and they're going to let go of Josh Boyer. I don't know, but I'm going to go with the first thing I told you.
I would have some real questions
on the defensive side, and they don't have him yet on the special team side. They haven't found his replacement. That's why they haven't fired him. What do you think?
I would have some real questions come March if Danny Crossman is the special teams coordinator, because look, they weren't just bad. It wasn't. There's a reason why this defense is playing basically hamstrung all year. If I was Josh Boyer, I'd actually be kind of mad if I'm getting let go. If I'm in that meeting, I'm saying, what about that guy?
Right.
What about that guy? The guy who couldn't set us up in good field position at all throughout the year.
I know.
What about the guy whose unit couldn't return a damn kick, couldn't take advantage of our field position, like couldn't do anything?
I know. You're right.
What do you mean? Don't put this on me. It's like that 50 Cent. This is the second show in a row I've referenced this clip, but it's one of my favorites. He's like, what do you say fuck me for? Right. I heard like saying fuck Josh Boyer. What did he say that? Like right. It wasn't just Josh, it was them. It was them in conjunction there. Like I would be a little surprised to see Crossman back just because that unit underperformed so spectacularly that somebody has to take the fall. It's like something has to change for it. Something has to change for it. I don't know if I'm willing to blame the special teams coordinator when your kicker gets the yips past 50 yards, but I can blame you. But like, in a vacuum, I wouldn't pile on him if they were only the worst return unit or only the worst return defense or only the worst kicking unit or only the worst, you know what I mean? If it was just one of those things, but right. All of those things.
Right. I'm with you. I'm with you. So you think like me then, that he must already have his plan set in place for the defensive coordinator, and that's why he's let Boyer go, so he can go find himself a job, but he's still hanging on to this guy who was worse. So that tells me that he's using him as a backup plan if he can't find the guy he wants. So I'm just wondering, because why wouldn't you just clean house all at the same time? So is there any – do you think my theory might have anything to stand?
I mean, I can't disprove it. I can't disprove it.
No, we can't prove it or disprove it.
I don't have a list of like potential special teams coordinators under my belt. I'm not going to lie here. I'm not going to lie to y'all, good people. I don't. It's something, maybe I'll start to do some research looking into now that apparently the chill part of the week is over and the offseason is back. But I can't disprove that.
Okay. All right. Good stuff.
Defensively, they want Fangio, man. Like they want Fangio.
Well, that's always been the name hooked with him. That's for sure. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Catch his work there at ESPN as he tracks all the changes with the Dolphins coaching staff. Marcel, appreciate you as always. Have a fantastic weekend, my friend. We will catch up next week.
Yes, sir. See y'all on Monday.
That's right. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate you. There you go. You get the edge. And listen, we were talking about how Robbie Robinson doesn't play with an edge. Well, Marcel Louis-Jacques, he covers the Dolphins with an edge, baby. That's what it's all about. And if you want the edge, you go to myedgedrink.com. The finest energy drink on the planet. Zero aftertaste. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. 100%. Trust me, when you grab that can and you drink it, you're going to go, damn it, he's right. It's delicious, it's smooth, it has zero aftertaste. And mix it with vodka, you're going to love it. Go to myedgedrink.com, use our code Big O, get it shipped to your home, your office. You can't get it in a store. Support the great people that support our platform, man. John and all the great people there at Edge Energy Drink. Go to myedgedrink.com. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. And use our code Big O. Get 10% off.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
All right. There we are. All right, let's bring him aboard. Let's get ready. Let's bring a little David Furones. He is ready to go. We love David. Excellent work, as always, for the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. Follow him like I do at David Furones _. More importantly, subscribe to the Sun-Sentinel and support my man David and Chris Perkins and Ira Winderman and Dave Hyde and all the excellent writers there at that fantastic newspaper. David, how are you doing, sir? Good afternoon. We lose him? It's a black polar bear in a dark room. Let me see. He's connecting. Wait, it's my internet connection. I only got like 2 bits per minute. Oh, he dropped. Give us 1 minute, and we'll be back with David Furones right here talking a little Miami Dolphins.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We are back. We're waiting. David Ferronis here at Hialeah Park. He's going to join us. Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, congrats, Sean, on being soon to be a grandpa. We should celebrate with Bring the Squared Circle Digest back. FYI, wrestling name will give you the little man. Okay? So there you go. And by the way, it's coming back, okay? The Squared Circle Digest is coming back. All right? And it's going to come back with a vengeance. I'm telling you. You got to see the new studio that's going to be unleashed, okay? Slick-ass looking studio, okay? Put a lot of money into that studio. Weston Renaud, thank you for the love on the super chat. Big O, thoughts on whether our personnel on defense fits more a 4-3 or 3-4? How does that impact the DC search? Listen, right now, I don't know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? I almost think that you're more suited to be 3-4 already as it is. You know, but we'll find out. Well, I think you might also be a hybrid. You know, I think you can also do that, and you can kind of switch things up at times depending on what kind of team you're facing or what kind of situation you're facing. You might have some of that flexibility to go from 4-3 to 3-4 also. It all depends. But right now, everything is up in the air. We got to find out who the defensive coordinator finally is going to be, and then we'll get a feel for what direction they want to go in on defense. But I don't know. I'd be lying to you to tell you, oh, no, I know that they're going to be a 4-3 for sure, or 3-4, or they're going to be a hybrid or whatever. I still don't know. And I know the same names that you guys know that are out there. Let's find out who they hire first. You know what I mean? Something tells me you're going to find out about who they're hiring pretty damn soon. Because if they made this move with Boyer, I think in other words, I think the coach said, priority first, let me settle the defensive coordinator. I can get the special teams coach next. But defensive coordinator is something I need to get the best one I can right now. And he did a really good job with his offensive staff. Let's see what he does on defense. Let's see who he can actually get. But thank you, Weston. I appreciate it. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. Let me see. All right. I think he's trying to pop in now. And we'll see if we could get a picture, because that's where we're having trouble. He's not showing up on the block. He looks like he's inside a dark room, basically. He's a black polar bear in a dark room, right? If you're all white, then you're a white polar bear in a snowstorm. But if you're all black, you got to be a black polar bear in a dark room. That's it. Dark rooms were always kind of funny because, man, that smell of the ink. Anybody ever had photography in school? Do they still have photography in high school now? No way. No. Yeah, oh, yeah, selfie. That's right, selfie. That's right. That's phone. Yeah. Why would anybody develop photos? Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Anyways, with today's kids, they would get that alcohol or whatever the hell we were using and they would pour in somebody's drink or something. These kids are effed up today nowadays, bro. All right, so we got Furones ready or what? Is Furones still a black polar bear in a dark room there? Furones, you know how to use your camera or what?
Yeah, I've done it a million times. I don't know what's going on here. I tried walking out to see if it was my connection or something, but the camera still doesn't work, it looks like.
You know, well, yeah, you sound great. It's just you.
All right.
What is it? The stop cam, is it on or is it off?
I did everything the way I normally would. Whenever I come on with you. I allow access, everything.
All right.
I hit
All right. Well,
and then it takes it off. It gives me the avatar. And then
all right. Well. Little did you guys know, but the Sun Sentinel was able to put a black polar bear in a black room on the to cover the Miami Dolphins. That's just absolutely fantastic. This is a really talented polar bear right here, bro. That is awesome. All right.
I guess people want to hear what I got to say more than see my face anyway. So.
Oh, that's me every day, bro. I mean, seriously, if my wife could turn off the screen on me at home, she would probably do that. You know what I mean? Just so I can walk around. I mean, she probably doesn't want to even hear me either. So what the hell? All right. So let me the cynical one in me. I got to have a little fun with you on this one. So we all kind of thought that Danny Crossman would be the first guy axed, right? And then Josh Boyer would be second. I personally don't think Josh Boyer did a bad job, by the way. I think his defense kept him in every game, but that's just me. Okay, but again, he inherited these guys, so you figure he's going to make some changes. Like any businessman that gets a new business, they start making changes. So Crossman is still there, and you fire Josh Boyer. I'm getting the feeling now, the cynical one in me now, okay? And then you tell me, Mr. Polar Bear, if you feel the same way. That he has already his eye on. He has made contact with that coach, and that's already in the works where he doesn't have Danny Crossman's replacement yet, and that's why he hasn't fired him yet.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, we know this team wanted Vic Fangio. I heard you guys mentioning him at the end of your previous segment with Marcel Louis-Jacques. And as our Omar Kelly reported back then when he was still with us, that was the guy that really that same day when Mike McDaniel was hired that people were linking to the defensive coordinator job. And then in the end, Josh Boyer was retained. Something fell through with between the Dolphins and Vic Fangio. So I would say he would be at the top of the list. If you can get him, and if maybe behind the scenes that communication has already begun to take place. And I'm not sure if I would have. I was kind of thinking Boyer was going to be the first one to go, and then maybe Crossman, just kind of off the checklist, going defense first, and then finding your special teams coordinator. But what was your reasoning behind that?
No, but I just talked about that before you came on. Mm-hmm. That maybe he released the defensive coordinator first because it's a lot harder and more competitive on a defensive coordinator than maybe a special teams coach. And maybe
that's what I would say. Yeah, the competition, you don't want the top candidates to go elsewhere, find their next landing spot. So, yeah, that's why I would have felt this order if it will indeed fall that way.
Now, if you're looking it up, besides Fangio and Lovie Smith, what are some of the other guys that could be available? Have you been able to start to unearth any of those names?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to a little early in the process, but Lovie Smith would be another name I've thought of. I know Evero from the Broncos. He's kind of up for some head coaching jobs, so I don't know if he would make a lateral move per se, defensive coordinator. Now a different defense that you get to coach, and Bradley Chubb over here. So I think that would be something that he might like. I don't know him personally, but something to look out for. So I mean, very early in this process. This just got done about an hour ago. So now we move on to that phase in the coming days.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what direction that they end up going in. What did you read into the Beville thing? Is it more about, well, I wasn't offered the kind of job that would make me successful as an offensive coordinator because Washington and the Jets don't have a quarterback, So I'll wait for a real opportunity to be an offensive coordinator. Or does he really love it here and he wants to stay here? I don't know. You tell me.
There's probably some combination of things. Daryl Beville has been an offensive coordinator in the NFL for 15 seasons. He's coached some of the best quarterbacks. So, yeah, he's got the resume to eventually get back into the OC ranks. And then obviously he's got aspirations to one day be a head coach. He has said as much late in the season when I asked him about that, because he's been up for jobs. He's been an interim head coach at his previous 2 stops. So he's got a world of experiences, coached some of the best quarterbacks. You saw the development that Tua Tagovailoa made under him this season. He worked with Trevor Lawrence when he was a rookie last year, Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. So, I mean, the guy's resume is loaded. So I don't think he would have to go for that kind of OC job right off the bat just because it came to him after a year as a quarterbacks coach here.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got, that you don't have a quarterback, and right now at least you're working with a quarterback that will keep your resume nice and fat. So you come back next year, Tua stays healthy for a whole year, you're going to put up one hell of an offense and all kinds of historic numbers and all that for the franchise, and that'll continue to set you up. And wait for that opportunity where you actually, I mean, there's a guy that's worked with Russell Wilson and Brett Favre and all these kind of guys. He knows, man. He knows if he goes to an offense, even when the Jets, who have weapons, but they have no quarterback, it still makes it such a hard job for anybody out there. So I don't blame him for waiting for that opportunity. So here's what I got to ask you. If somehow or another he can survive this year, do you think Mike McDaniel at one point, if he's able to have success by calling plays, that he finally takes that step back and lets the offensive coordinator, so that way he can kind of be the head coach throughout? Or do you think his love for play calling will be something that will be very Andy Reid-ish?
Yeah, that'll be a big decision for him to make, because I think he kind of had to learn the hard way in his first year as a head coach that it's a tough combination to do that for the first time and also call plays for the first time, because he was indeed a first-time play caller. He wasn't doing that last year as offensive coordinator for the 49ers, and kind of following that Kyle Shanahan way of doing things, where Shanahan was calling plays over there. So I think he gave it a shot. I guess he'll have to reassess if that's the way he wants to continue going, or if he's better suited just managing the whole operation from a head coach perspective and seeing if he can improve it in that regard. So, I mean, I think he does have a love for play calling. He is this creative, innovative mind, whiz kid, all those phrases that we've used for him. So I think he wants to sort of flex that when he can, and sometimes maybe too much to his own detriment when he's trying to get that perfect play call. And like we saw in the wild card game, he's late to get it in, and you end up with some costly delay of game penalties or burning timeouts to avoid them, or rushing your key plays. So he's going to have to learn how to balance all those things out.
Yeah, he sucked pretty much on game days, bro. Seriously. I mean, dude, you're gouging the Bills and the Packers for 7 and 9 yards a carry, and the short downs come and you continue to pass and fail. Just the Gesicki stuff. Like, you were so hard-headed that you couldn't find. I mean, if you're a really good offensive coordinator, you find a way to use the guy for the year, and then you go get the guy that fits, what you do or whatever. I can understand that. I can understand if you got to go find the guy that's complete to sell your offense. But for the time being, you saw in that last month, bro, Gesicki, all he did was make plays for you, and he could have been doing that all year long. And by the way, make Tua's life a little easier too.
Right. That part was discouraging to see, that you thought, okay, he could adjust to whatever he does have, which is what any good offensive coordinator, any good head coach, really any football coach should be able to do, is work with the tools that you do have at your disposal, and not just work with what fits what you do. So that was an area where he wasn't able to fulfill that duty when he had a talent, really a talent like Mike Gesicki, and wasn't able to display his talents on the field the way we had seen he's capable under previous coaching staffs, which weren't as adept offensively. And so that was one disappointment for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And by the way, I know you asked about I'm pretty sure it was you that asked about taking chances on injured players. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah, to Chris Greer.
Yeah. Because I know the voices. So he had a great comeback, but what was your reaction to it? Because it's hard to argue, who took what's it called, Frank Gore off the board. Yeah, he was injury prone from high school to college. And then, he went on to have a hell of a career. Willis McGahee, he did the same thing. Kevin Fagan blew out a knee. And then obviously Chris Greer talked about his dad, getting the running back, Curtis Martin, who was always injured at Pitt. And then he got to the NFL and was a freaking workhorse. So, and by the way, I did the homework on this. The injured players that were on the IR. Austin Jackson wasn't really injury prone. Myles Gaskin's not injury prone. Brandon Jones not injury prone. Byron Jones wasn't injury prone. Nick Needham wasn't injury prone. Trill Williams wasn't injury prone. It's really all about Tua, Teron, and Chubb. Really, overall, most of the guys that were on the IR weren't really injury prone guys. It was really more about Tua, Teron, and Chubb. And Teron and Chubb ended up even playing, at least in the playoff game. So what did you think about the response that they gave you, which was a pretty good one, but then at the same time, it is a concern if you are taking chances on injured guys?
Right. Yeah, I thought it was a very fair response. And, I asked the question because I think it is on a lot of people's minds. It's not necessarily like my opinion is he should you have to look into every player's injury history and base your decisions, not entirely, but close to that. But I felt it was fair. There are a lot of stories, anecdotal evidence of players who overcame an injury history and then went on to have very long, successful careers. And obviously a lot of other examples, like you mentioned a bunch that got hurt this year, that it wasn't necessarily because you could forecast it due to injury history. It just it's a rough game and things like that happen. Basically his response was you can't do this scared. You can't make your decisions scared. You can run away from decisions. And hey, also at the same time, you can find some bargains when you're looking for some of these guys that are perceived to be injury prone, and bank on that they could turn that around and change that perception and remain healthy, and you could get good deals out of that. And suddenly they become guys that are playing all season for you. So there's definitely a balance. I think you have to find a balance there for sure.
Yeah, I remember the Dolphins signing Brent, the guy that was married with the Brent Grimes. Brent Grimes was coming off an Achilles injury and ended up becoming a really good player for them. I know the other stuff that was, it's a problem, but it wasn't really Brent Grimes the issue, when he was playing for the Dolphins. But there's a guy that was coming off an Achilles injury as a corner. And so let me ask you now, with Tua, are you in agreement of going forward with Tua? And if you're not in agreement, how do you replace him?
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement of giving him this year. He's got the year under contract, so you definitely want to play it out. I'm a little iffy on giving him an extension. I wouldn't do that right now because we have seen he hasn't been able to get through an entire year healthy. So that's a concern. I think you want to see him do that this upcoming season. And I would say with the way he performed this year, the 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, by the way, the last 3 interceptions, he was playing concussed. And so he had really 5 interceptions when he was really himself there on the field, and led the league in passer rating, yards per attempt. Based on performance, I definitely want to see Tua continue to blossom under this offense and with these weapons, and then definitely give him this year. I don't know if I would go with that 5th year option just because of that. You want to maintain flexibility, but then you'll see this year for sure if he will be a long-term solution, which if he can get through it healthy. And really, the only injury concern was the head trauma, the concussions this year. There had been just a lot of other body parts that he had suffered injuries to, and really everything else he got through okay. The only thing that kept him off the field were those concussions and the protocols. So if you now get him a new helmet or instruct him on new ways to be able to keep
get rid of
himself
the
upright
ball.
or fall.
Get
or
rid
like,
of the ball.
yeah, and get rid of the ball. That's right.
The ball. It's not the new
because
helmet.
the Cincinnati one was definitely, yeah.
Bro,
the Cincinnati one he could have avoided it.
David, go back and time his hip. Go time the 2 ankle injuries. Go time the Cincinnati one, and go time the Green Bay one. They're all 4 to 5 seconds, bro. All of them. There's one of them that's 3.81 seconds. The rest of them are over 4, and they get to 5.1 seconds. Bro, get rid of the ball. That's all he has to learn how to do. Get rid of the ball. All his major injuries come from holding it 4 seconds or more. And you do that, bro, that's Ryan Tannehill football. You can't do that in the NFL. And he can't do that. Now, I want to walk you through a scenario because you're not sure about the fifth year option. You say you don't want to give him the extension, which that's understandable. But let me run a scenario by you that says you have no choice. You have to give him the 5th year option. All right, here we go. And follow me. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Okay, if you allow him to play this season out, then you're going to have to tag him for the 5th year. And then you have to then negotiate a long-term contract. And then that long-term contract, you then can boot that year out, and then it'll start in the 5th year. But now you started the big contract there. But if you give him the $22.5 million guaranteed in the year 5, if he does ball out in year 4, you've locked him in on year 5 on a really cheap number as it is. You can actually renegotiate that 5th year to add it to the extension and lower that price if you felt like it, and still give him the extension because obviously he would have performed in year 4 already. So I think that you're better off tagging him no matter what, because $22 million really, even if he only plays 12 or 14 games that year, it's still more productive and better than most quarterbacks as it is. You know what I'm saying? And I think what Chris was trying to say to us was, well, look at Teron Armstead. He's had one hell of a career, but he's also dealt with injuries all the time. But everybody wants to keep him on the team because when he's playing, he's an incredibly important asset to the team. And as you've seen it in the locker room, with the media, with and then as a player. So obviously he's like a multi faceted what's it called, weapon for the team, because he helps you in leadership, he helps you as a player, and obviously he helps you on the field. So you can deal with some of those games off. As long as you get most of the games on the field, you're going to get great production from the guy. So it's one of those two things. So you're David Furones, now the general manager of the Miami Dolphins, and you're in that catch-22 with Tua. How do you do it? Do you just ride out year 4 and then tag him after if you have to? Or do you go with the 5th year option to save your ass just in case?
Yeah, I mean, my initial thought is just ride out year 4. You make a very strong case, though, for that 5th year option, especially because it is at the 22 number instead of what it could have gone up to, which is the 27 range, had he been a Pro Bowler this year. And he really did have a Pro Bowl caliber season. Just a matter of, okay, and he was tops in the fan vote. I guess a lot of player vote, maybe some coach vote didn't go his way, and obviously he's in a stacked AFC where Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow got the nod for those 3 spots, and he's going to be the first alternate, which basically he's going to be a Pro Bowler because those 3 quarterbacks are 3 of the 4 remaining AFC quarterbacks. So unless Trevor Lawrence upsets everyone and gets to the Super Bowl, then Tua Tagovailoa is automatically a Pro Bowler, and that number still stays at the 22 figure for not getting in on the first.
He broke up there.
So you're not too committed, where you're really in a hole if these injuries just continue to become a concern. For the 5th year option, that is not a very hefty price tag at this moment, and could really be beneficial if you do see Tua take the strides that you anticipate going forward.
So David Furones is now going to use the fifth-year option, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm on the spot here. I was going the entire way thinking I'm just keeping it to the fourth, but you make a decent enough point where you may have on the spot converted me here.
Yeah, it kind of saves your ass just in case, because if he blows up, you know what Lee Steinberg's going to do.
Right.
You know, we need 160 million guaranteed on a $300 million contract over how many years, and this and that, and whoa. You know, and so now it's like, okay, well, you performed in the 4, we got you on the 5 already, and you know, if you have any issues, then you can tag them on the 6, and you're still controlling. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where, but you don't even want to get to the tag, and you don't want to get to that. You don't want to be put with the gun to your head for that deal. Like, oh, you performed year 4, you didn't tag them on 5. Now you've got to give them that big fat contract. At least 5 can be a bumper for that. You know what I'm saying?
And it shows you have confidence in them. And based on Chris Greer's answers about not being scared of a player's injury history, then if you're consistent with that, then you would go ahead and do that for your quarterback that you drafted.
That's a great point, dude. That's a fantastic point on your part right there. Mm-hmm. That is a fantastic point, because by him saying that, it kind of tells you that, they'll probably tag his ass for that 5th year, because you just got to protect yourself, man, just in case. I remember when people freaked out, and I was never a fan of the kid. I never believed in him. But when they gave Ryan that contract of $17 million per year, dude, that was the market at that time. That was true. And now the market is 40, bro. So you're going to, if he balls out or if he has a good year, you're going to have to overpay him no matter what at that point.
And all of a sudden, that figure's looking like a bargain. So,
right. Yeah. So there you go. Follow him on Twitter. It's always a bargain because you don't have to pay anything. At David Furones _ and catch his exceptional work in the Miami Dolphins on a daily basis for the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, thank you, my brother. Have a fantastic weekend. We really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Glad I could join you on this walk through the neighborhood trying to get connection. And although you still couldn't see it because my camera wasn't on.
It's all good. You're a black polar bear in a dark room this time around. We'll get you on video next time. All right, bro. Be good.
Yeah, I'll make sure to get that right.
You got it. There you go. Good stuff. David Furones, man, getting it done. You know who gets it done also? Welton Rayom. They are just an absolutely phenomenal law office. 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage. That's what we had. And we had, Progressive trying to take advantage of us. Why? Because those stinking insurance companies, they don't work for you. They don't care about you. They just care about your money. That's it. And their adjusters, they don't work for you. They work for Progressive or whatever other insurance company you might be dealing with after an accident, a car accident, property damage, home, business, you name it, condo damage. Do not call the insurance company first. You call Welton Rayom because they have their own adjusters. So they'll send them out to your business, your house, your car, wherever you're at, and they'll get that done. And they will put these insurance companies, they'll put them, on notice. Okay. I mean, the guy that was trying to, take advantage of us, that dude got fired after Welton Rayom took over and smoked those fools. Because, I made the mistake of listening to my wife because, anybody married out there? So when the wife just like, no, I'll take care of it. Let me do it. Let me call the lawyers. They know what to do. And so I'm trying to save you from being stupid like me. Don't allow yourself or your wife or your husband, whoever's your partner and whoever's listening right now, don't allow them, okay, to go call the insurance company because the insurance company is going to take advantage of them. They're going to try every which way possible. Welton Rayom, they know all the laws, so you can't get it past them. Okay, they were offering us 1/5 of what we ended up getting to fix our property. Call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. Do not allow these insurance companies to rip you off. You get the offensive tackles that will get the job done. Daniel Rayom and Jeff Welt. 954-966-4646. Condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, bankruptcy. You call them. Welt and Rayom. All right. By the way, Panthers back in action tonight, taking on the Canadiens. 7 o'clock for that one. Heat last night. The fat boy wasn't on the court, by the way. No Zion, but they did win. They did win. What, man, they smoked New Orleans. Like, it wasn't a – I think they cut it, I want to say, to 14 points in the third quarter. Something like that. I don't know. I was watching it, whatever. And, you know, it kind of – I was watching it, and I got to be honest, it was kind of half-assed as I was watching because the Heat had that game so controlled. It was just like it was never in doubt. And they just handled them the entire time. Bam Adebayo, I got to tell you, you know, when we talk about bringing the edge, and there, Bam Adebayo is a guy that is bringing the edge. And I am so proud of Bam because I was calling him a super role player. That was my name for him. But you know what? Let's talk about who has the edge.
Who's got the edge? Who's got the edge? Let's find out who separated themselves from the pack. Here's the MyEdgeDrink.com Athlete of the Week.
Bam Adebayo, man. I am really proud of you, young man. We all knew you had the ability. We all knew you had the fire. We all knew you had the determination. But there was something missing. I don't know what it was, that he just wasn't willing to be an impact offensively. And I'm not just saying a complimentary offensive player. No. I'm talking about a guy that helps to dictate what goes on offense. A guy that now is one of the things that I told you, for him to have the edge, he had to learn to impose his offensive will on the opponent. And that's what he's done now this season. Over the last couple of months, he has become that player, that whole thing. Well, I got to shoot. He didn't even shoot 18 times yesterday, but he ended up getting the 26 points. He got the 8 rebounds. He got the 2 steals. This is the Bam Adebayo that I've been waiting for. Okay? This is the Bam. I don't need you to add the 3-point shot. I know that was the other thing that we talked about, and maybe one day he does down the line. He does that. He has the skill set for it. But I know this, that if he wanted to work around the rim, he can do it. If he wants to dunk on your ass, he can do it. If he wants to lay it up, he can do it. If he wants to shoot a 12 or a 15 or a 17-footer, he can do it. And that's what I like about what I'm seeing. Floaters, shots, going to the rim, everything. He is now not taking a backseat offensively. And that's why he is bringing the edge. He's got it now, baby. That's what. And when you want the edge, make sure you go to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O to get the drink that is delicious, smooth, and has zero aftertaste. So if you're looking for an energy drink that has zero aftertaste, because last time I checked, the market is flooded with energy drinks with a ton of aftertaste. This has zero aftertaste. Order it to your house. myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O. Get 10% off. Bam Adebayo. You now have the edge.
When you want the edge, reach for Edge Energy Drink. 78 calories, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. Go to myedgedrink.com. Use the code Big O and get 10% off.
All right. One guy's there. Bam will disappear in the playoffs. I disagree with you, man. I think Bam has crossed that threshold. I think he's that guy now. I really do. I like what I'm seeing from Bam. I'm really proud of him. 72 undefeated. Wonder what Tua's QBR was in December when the games counted, not just trash teams. Hey, 72 undefeated. Did you watch the Buffalo game? Because he was lights out there, my brother. See, that's the problem with some of you idiots out there. I get it, man. He had a bad game in San Francisco. He was terrible there. And the Chargers game, that wasn't good. It was more bad coaching than anything else because he wasn't prepared and he didn't scheme it right. The coach was fantastic in the San Francisco game. Tua was terrible. But Tua was outstanding in the Buffalo game. He did everything to win that game. Problem is, you got so much bias against Tua, you're not even objective. If Tyreek and Trent catch their touchdowns, that helps right there. That you get one touchdown there. Braylon Sanders keeps running. It's a touchdown. If the boneheaded head coach doesn't take a 2-point conversion early, you got another point there. If he keeps running the ball after gouging them 7 yards a carry, you keep the drives alive. You would have won that game. Mike McDaniel lost that game. Tyreek lost that game, not Tua. Trent Sherfield lost that game, not Tua. Braylon Sanders lost that game, not Tua. And then the Green Bay game, he was lights out in the first half. So those were 6 straight quarters. In the second half, he had a concussion. But I mean, dude, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Spin it however you want. I can always tell the people that are not objective, like you, 72 undefeated. You know what I mean? Because if you say that he played like crap in all of December and you're including the Buffalo game and you're including half of the Green Bay game, the other half he was concussed throwing 3 interceptions, which I think everybody saw that he was completely off there, way off. But whatever, man. I mean, it is what it is. But people like you, you're not going to, trade Tua for Tampa for the 6th rounder. There we go. Since you're just a troll, there's no use for you anymore on the chat board. So, yeah, 72 undefeated, you can block them out already. So, since there's no use for you because you bring nothing to the table except trolling, now you're gone. See? Stupidity will get you gone, 72 undefeated. So, now you get to only watch if you want. And if you don't want to watch, I already blocked him, True fan. So, that's the problem with some of you. If you're just going to be trolls and you're going to be idiots, you won't last long anyways. So go get another email if you want to join us, and then we'll block you again because eventually you'll say something stupid. 72 undefeated. Jay Gelfin says, man per man, the Heat looked complete last night. Yeah, they did. They look good. And let me tell you something. Here's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Gabe Vincent. Anybody notice this? Did you notice this last night? Gabe Vincent, 26 minutes. Kyle Lowry, 22. Okay. Now, I don't know if they're easing Lowry back or whatever the hell or what, I don't care. Whatever. He doesn't deserve more minutes anyways. But Gabe Vincent scored 16 points to Lowry's 6. Gabe got 5 rebounds to Lowry's 8. Gabe got 3 assists to Lowry's 4. And he shot 4 of 8 from 3-point range, Gabe Vincent. What I'm saying is Kyle Lowry starts by default because they got to respect him, but I start looking at this trend, okay? It's kind of what I've done with Oladipo. Okay, let's see. Is he back? Let me see his minutes played every night, because I want to see if his body holds up and all that. And if it does, then eventually you hope the talent starts to refine itself. And that's what's happening with Depot, right? He's playing better and better because he's able to stay on the court. Well, now I'm going to watch the battle of minutes between Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry, because if I am the Heat head coach, I want to play a little more Vincent over Lowry. Okay? I want to empower the young people on this team. I felt terrible for the young people last year when they were covering for everybody with injuries and they were playing very well. And then when everybody got back, we completely crapped on those young guys. And we stopped giving Caleb the time he was getting and Gabe and all that. And they took steps back because it's kind of like Mike McDaniel in the running game. You're gouging, you're running well. And then all of a sudden you want to just go pass happy for half a quarter. Oh, wait a minute, we're struggling. Let's go back to the run. Oh, it's not working. Well, of course it's not. You didn't allow Stella to keep her groove. Mike, Well, it's the same thing. You can't do that to these people. They need time. We all need time. We all need reps in anything that we do in life so we can get better. The dealer here at Hialeah Park, if they're not dealing every day, couple times a week, and then all of a sudden they stay away from dealing for months. And then they're going to be a little rusty. They're not going to look as smooth and all that kind of stuff, right? We all need reps in life. Doesn't matter what it is. And I felt bad for the young guys last year when they took away all those reps and they were helping you, carrying the team, helping you win. And then you just discard them because of the older players. Well, I don't want that to happen anymore because Kyle Lowry is not the future, has no future. In fact, he shouldn't even be here. This was a terrible signing. The fact that the front office and Pat Riley has allowed the inmates to run the asylum is unacceptable, to be quite honest. Oh, I want you to draft Shabazz Napier for me. No, dude, screw you. I want you to sign. No, you sign with us, and we sign whoever the hell we want. And if the Heat also wanted Kyle Lowry, then shame on you. Because I know nothing about basketball compared to those guys over there in Biscayne Boulevard, and I knew that the Kyle Lowry contract was a cancer. It still is a cancer. It's one of the worst contracts they've ever signed in Heat history. I mean, it's a real waste to have Kyle Lowry around. Thank the Lord that it's an expiring contract next year, and you will be able to unload his ass. Somebody will have a disgruntled player, and you'll be able to get a decent player for that sorry-ass salary because they're going to get an expiring contract. No doubt about that. By the way, Bitcoin holding strong, just under 21,000 at 20,992. $8 right under 21,000. That's pretty good. It's held pretty damn strong, man. It's down a little bit because it was right around 21.3, 21.4, and now it's right around 21, but pretty amazing. Polly King says, Big O, would you want the Finns to look at maybe Zimmer? Zimmer's already with Colorado. Marvin Lewis, is he still coaching? I don't even know if he's coaching anymore. Gerard Mayo is already getting promoted in the Patriots organization, so that's not and John Fox, oh my God, no John Fox, no Marvin Lewis, no. I think they're out of football. Lovie Smith was still in it, so Lovie Smith is the one there out of that list that I wouldn't mind them going after. The others are pretty much, done or unrealistic. At least from what I know. If somebody tells me that Marvin Lewis, I don't know really. To be honest, John Fox and Marvin Lewis at this point, yeah, I'm good. I'll pass on those guys. Shabazz was understandable at the time. No, it's not. No, you missed my point, Chase. Screw the players. Are we clear on that? Screw the players. Okay? They don't run the organization. He was pissed that Mike Miller got traded. Mike Miller he made Humpty Dumpty look like he was completely put together. Mike Miller. No. You're missing the point. Anytime a player says, go get this, you tell him, no. You worry about your play, shut the hell up, and get your ass over to the locker room. Don't tell me how to run the organization. That's what I would do. Okay? Because it hasn't worked out. Just think about the examples. You got pissed off for Mike Miller, LeBron. He wanted Shabazz Napier. And now Jimmy Butler wanted Kyle Lowry, his best friend and godfather of his daughter. How'd that work out? 3 strikes. Players suck. They're not supposed to be general managers. They have no objectivity whatsoever. I mean, I've learned this my way because I've had to have discussions and arguments with ex-players about sports. And because they're so biased, they can't be objective about certain things. So Jimmy Butler didn't have the balls to look at Kyle Lowry and say, Kyle, oh, hey, man, they don't want you. Lie to him or something. I guess he can't tell his best friend, hey, Kyle, you're over the hill, bro. You can't help me. And because that's what happened. Jimmy Butler screwed himself by asking for Kyle Lowry. And the Heat were dumb enough to listen to him and follow through after the Mike Miller debacle and the Shabazz Napier mistake. By now, you have to have learned your lesson. Whenever a player wants to make a suggestion, you tell them, hey, you own the team or something? No, coach. You're the general manager? No, coach. So then who the hell are you to suggest players? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's right. Go worry about your goddamn business. Get the hell out of here. That's what you need to tell all these players. Every single one of them. If you know what you're doing and you're Pat Riley, okay, you don't need to answer to players, dude. This is what gets you in this mess. You're going to make your own mistakes. Whiteside, Johnson, all that. You don't need players to add to your mistakes. You're human beings. You're going to make mistakes. Sasha Danilovic, you're going to make mistakes. So don't bring somebody else in that's going to just contribute and compound the problem. And that's what players do. They compound the problem. They don't help the problem. That's it. All right, let's do this. Let's bring the man, the myth, the legend aboard. Steve Calabro, of course, the general manager out here at Hialeah Park, the home of the loosest slots in the state of Florida. That is documented. Can I hear you there?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
The myth. I think that's the key word.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I don't know about that. At any rate. So how's everything been? I'm super sorry that I've missed you the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. Where you been? Just cracking the whip?
Crazy.
You got a new car you're giving away? What's the deal?
We are.
Look at that.
So I think
it was an Alfa Romero. You had the F-150.
Electric
F-150, badass vehicle. What's the next one?
So the next one is a Mercedes.
Electric?
No. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
We went to the dealership, Miami of
Mercedes of Miami, right? And the guy said the people
aren't going crazy for the electric Mercedes.
No, not yet. Of course not. Overall, it's not yet. We're not there yet.
Right. It's not just Mercedes. It's definitely not just Mercedes. He said there's a big issue with like distance. You know, the whole 300 miles. People are freaking out because there's not enough charging stations, and they got to go take a long drive. I don't know how many people take a long
ride. Let me ask you something.
How many people drive 300 miles or more a day? But
right, and right. Let me ask you something. When you're going to go on a long ass trip, you're going to use your car or you're going to rent a car?
Well, who knows? I've driven my car.
I get it, but really?
Well, I think it's
I'd rather rent a car.
That's all my staff does. They rent a car. They rent a van. They put 12 of their friends in there and they go out to Disney and life is good, right? But it was weird. So he was like off-selling us on we went there for a Mercedes electric vehicle.
Yeah.
He goes, believe me, it's not really a hot car. And so we're going with another model. He says the hot model. I can't remember the exact number, but
I can also tell you this, that there's a sense of negativity between salespeople in all kinds of dealerships against the electric cars.
Oh yeah. That's real.
Because listen, man, people don't like change.
Yeah,
and it's coming whether you like it or not. It's coming, bro. And
look, I think they're going to put it so it's a 500 radius or 700 mile radius, and then it becomes a little. Get rid of that problem, right? The other thing too is you see what Wyoming did. They're trying to do. They didn't do it yet. The government in the state of Wyoming is trying to make it illegal to sell electric vehicles.
Yeah.
So I guess the lobbyists from the car company.
Somebody tell them that you're Wyoming. You have 800,000 people in your entire state, and we don't give a shit about you.
There's nobody really going to buy any cars there. They're buying John Deere tractors.
Brother, we have more people in Hialeah than they have in Wyoming.
No, I think they got a little more.
I don't know. Check out the population of
it's really
Hialeah in Wyoming.
I think Wyoming's 500. I think it's 500.
I think we
That's
have
the
more
whole state, though. I mean,
I think we have more than 500,000 in Hialeah.
Well, but you're saying all people,
legal and illegal. Yes,
yeah,
I can say it. You can. I can say.
I didn't want to say the illegal word.
You know, my people. We have like
578 in Wyoming, right?
578,000.
So basically, like,
bro, how much is in Hialeah? I think Hialeah has over close to 1 million people, dude. I bet you it's like 800, 900,000.
No, it's 240.
220, damn.
Well, 220, but that means it's 320.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, that's true because because all the duplexes, it's double with the duplex.
Well, whatever. If they say
you just don't see the duplex because we built it hidden.
No,
it's kind of when you go to Canal Street and you go buy a Louis Vuitton bag, and the Asian person takes you in and says, "Okay, follow me," and you think you're about to die. You ever done that?
The hallway's extra skinny.
Yeah, and then the trap door opens. Then you're going downstairs and you're looking at your wife going, are we going to live through this
worth
shit?
$40?
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. And she's like, I need this bag. My mom wants it. And you're going down an alley and you're turning left. And then there's another door. And then there's a guy that has to
he checks you out as if somehow he knows.
All right, yeah. It's like, and then you're finally in. And you see everything. It's just like it's a maze, dude.
I've been there.
You've been there, right? In Canal Street.
Unfortunately,
that
I'm
is
actually
hilarious, bro.
Bought a couple of bags. I met back then they were about $50 a bag. I think they're a little higher now. Inflation,
of course.
Even with the knockoffs, right?
Yes.
You think about the Louis is a $2,000 bag. I'm paying $50 or $60 for it. Life is good, right?
Yes, definitely.
And they spell Louis wrong, but that's okay.
Yes. You've never done that, right, Sean? You've never gone to Canal Street just for that experience?
Oh, it's
my God!
Back in the 90s, I would go with my son, and we would get CDs.
Oh, okay.
Like 3 for $1.
Right.
It was like these were like normally like $6.99 each and stuff like that.
Right.
And you'd have like a bunch of CDs and all kinds of music. That was before
right.
iPhones and all that stuff. But
back in the day here, we would go to the flea markets, and I'm talking about the 70s. Okay.
Yeah.
And we would get the fake 8-tracks.
Oh yeah, well, you're going back.
And you would pay for the fake 8-tracks, and they would have their own labels and everything. And
yeah. So I have a
freaking awesome.
I have a sad story about 8-tracks. I always think negatively because it was the 70s, so I was a high school kid in the 70s, right? So back then you were either a disco guy or you were, like
rock or punk,
rock or punk
too.
Right?
Yeah,
I was a rock guy, right? So a little bit slanted towards the hippie thing with the hippie van, with the sunset on the side of the thing, with the carpet on the side of the walls and stuff like that.
Door of the van would open, all the smoke. You and Spicoli would fall out. Okay,
I have no recollection of that, Your Honor. But so the engine was in the middle. The engine was like right next.
Oh
to
yeah,
it.
yeah,
like
yeah.
If it overheated, it burned your leg, you know.
Right.
And I had an 8-track player right on there. Now I didn't live in the best in the neighborhood, but twice my 8-track player got stolen. So I always, when they say 8-tracks, I have this heartfelt negative that I feel like, Jesus, I had to go through. Then I went with an FM converter. So
yeah, there you go.
So I attached the FM converter, stolen.
Right.
But the second time, they don't even get it because I bolted it with like 19 bolts. They just rip it and it's hanging there, broken. They don't even end up with the FM converter,
So it
was tough.
They just wanted music. They just wanted to break it. Just okay. If I can't have it, he's not going to have it either.
It was a rough go, but anyhow, that being said,
I'm with you. Listen, I had a Rally Sport Camaro, and I remember one time coming out, and my Pioneer Super Tuner was gone.
Oh,
my IDI Power Booster, and my Pioneer 6x9s. Speakers, which
just
were
sad,
just
sad.
No, they were JBLs. I'm sorry, JBLs.
It was like 3 months of income.
Oh my God.
It was the other thing too.
And installing it.
Yeah, the hassle of believe me, it was 76, I guess, and I had a 67 Dodge van. And with the wooden bumper.
There you go.
That was with the wooden bumper with, my name or something. I don't know, something, some phrase or something like, I don't know what was. I can't remember. There was a sunset on the side. I remember that, But anyhow, that being said, back to business. We are, April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke.
Right.
That's when we're giving the Mercedes away.
Nice.
So So from Feb. So you'll remember April 1st, right?
All right, so you come down and play the games,
Play
and you
February and March. You're in entries. April 1st, drive home in Mercedes.
There you go.
There you go. Nice and simple. But before that, we have something very, very, very cool. February 24th, Friday.
Una gran noche de boxeo cubano.
Boxeo cubano. Today,
Yes.
or 3. As
Guillermo
we wrote 3.
Rigondeaux is coming.
We truly went with Spanglish. Boxeo cubano 3. We didn't go with today's. We went with the.
Well, you're in Hialeah. Spanglish flies.
We went with Spanglish, right? We did 2, so we figured we'd do 3. We didn't do dos. We did 2, so we're going with the Spanglish, and that's the story. We're sticking to it. So it's February 24th. Should be fabulous. Rigo's got to win. This is his, this is basically, does his career continue?
Right.
And he climbs back, or,
Right. He's been a hell of a fighter, man.
It's been phenomenal, and I think the Latinos from my date have supported him.
Oh, yeah. He's going to bring a crowd.
I'm telling you, come on out and support him. This is a big, big night for Rigo.
Yeah.
He's got to do it.
And as we get closer, we'll have the full card for you, obviously, because that's still.
Frankie's working on the card's pretty much set, but I don't have it I didn't bring it today. But Frankie, I think it's set. I think there's 1 or 2 fights where there's still some negotiating with the opponents,
right?
The lesser, the preliminaries. So it's going to be a great February 24th. Tickets are on sale. You can go online and get them, or you can go right to the cage.
Hialeah Park.
HialeahPark.com.
Right.
You'll hit the button that puts you right over to our box office.
There you go.
Or why not just come on over?
And you can come on over here.
Win some money.
Yeah.
Go downstairs to the casino cage. That's our box office. You buy the tickets. And
Smoke-free casino.
Smoke-free casino. And you can have, you can either play here in poker or slots, win some money, and it's practically going to the fight for free.
I love it.
You got to win, though.
I love it. I love it. By the way, a hell of a game last week. If it wasn't for the head coach who just doesn't make a lot of good decisions during the game,
management was a little weird, right?
Everything, all
time
kind.
Management was a little weird.
He screws up in all kinds.
Time management was.
He's got to learn how to be better during game days.
Yeah,
everything else about him is fantastic. His game day decisions are kind of screwed up. By the way, since you're from that area. Herm Edwards had that problem with the Jets too. His clock management skills.
Look, they used to beat up what's his name? I went to college outside of Philly. Reed, Andy Reid.
Oh yeah.
He all the Philly fans, Eagle fans, they thought it was all about clock management. Meantime, he goes, he's a great coach.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm sure he got better at clock management. I'm sure there was some legitimacy to some of his clock management.
He finally got over the hump.
Yeah, he figured it out, because I guess.
But the guy produces all kinds of quarterbacks. He makes every quarterback that plays for him better.
Play way better than
right. His offense is, they lost Tyreek Hill. Well, and
he continues. Number 1 seed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's no denying who he is. The problem is, man, it's like it when you don't get over that hump, then you get that the guy from Buffalo, damn it, what's his name? He went to 4 Super Bowls.
Marv Levy,
yeah. Bud Grant, and then
they don't win the big one,
and you don't win the big
Jim
one,
Kelly,
and
he's
so
a great quarterback, but
how big of a choker was John Elway?
And then
until he got a defense, Terrell Davis and Shanahan.
Yeah.
That they kind of put everything together. And, but meanwhile, while he was playing with Sammy Winder and all those guys, oh, wow, what a choker. Lost 55 to 10.
Can't win the big playoffs. He can't win, blah, blah, blah.
But Peyton Manning, can't beat Florida. That's how he got into the NFL. That, I don't want Peyton Manning. He can't beat the Gators. And then T. Martin wins the championship the year after he leaves in Tennessee. By the way, Philip Fulmer also had that at Tennessee for a while. Choker, coming up short, and then he wins it with T. So it's just one of those things, and I think Andy Reid had to carry that torch. But it's
for a number of years.
Right, but you shouldn't do that to somebody that every year their team is actually like really good. Like their quarterbacks all play well.
Yeah, but they're not saying it anymore. I think
now you can.
Because he won. Yeah.
Right.
But listen, I want to hats off to Skyler. Not a bad performance.
No.
I mean,
considering you're playing for a coach that doesn't know how to get into plays.
And by the way, you've got like 3 game, maybe 6 quarters of experience or 5 quarters of experience.
He's a baby. He's an infant.
So I mean, The thing I'm a little I hate to say this because it's a little bit negative, but it seems like Teddy Bridgewater just like I don't know what happened to him. He just didn't.
Oh, listen. Your knuckle. You break your pinky finger and your throwing hand.
Even before that, I don't think.
No.
No.
It was a bad signing. It didn't work out. Listen, I'm not a Teddy guy anyway, so
I just thought that his heart wasn't in it, But
no, that's how he is. No. Don't measure him that way.
I guess.
No. He's just like a mellow guy like that. He's not the raw. Joe Flacco's not going to be a raw guy either.
No.
You know what I mean?
Joe Flacco's a Jersey guy.
Yeah, I know. I know, but don't give him a break because he's a Jersey guy. He has the same kind of mellow attitude.
He won the Super Bowl.
I know, but and with that mellow attitude,
he did. He had a great team around him too.
Yeah. No, he was phenomenal. He carried that defense. That defense was mediocre. They were average that year.
They had a good running game.
They had a good running game. But dude, he threw 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was on a golden
and he
roll.
got paid handsomely after that win.
Yeah, he gambled on himself.
Handsomely.
but there are some of those guys that are just they're wired differently.
Yeah.
And I don't, because you're not the only one that mentioned this to me about Teddy. And I tried to explain to him, you got to know who he is. That has nothing to do with.
It just seemed like it was weird, But hey,
he just didn't play well.
I don't think he's going to be on the roster next year anyhow.
No, I would not bring him back as my backup.
No. But that being said,
by the way, I obviously Tua's coming back. We had fun with this earlier in the week. Let me have fun with you on this one. Who you picking out of these guys? Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco, Taylor Heineke, Gardner Minshew, Cooper Rush, Andy Dalton. Those are the kind of guys that I think.
As backup. Say that list slow though. Well, hold on. I got to think this one through here now.
Okay.
I got to put some brain power to this.
Oh, that'll take forever.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just putting brain power in.
Where is it again? Gardner Minshew, Cooper Rush, Andy Dalton, Taylor Heineke, the Washington kid, Joe Flacco, and Sam Darnold.
Okay. So I'm going to go with. There's two. I have two different reasons. But I'm going to go with one first.
Which is?
Now look at me. I'm 64 years old.
You're going with Joe Flacco?
No.
Oh.
No. Well, no, Joe's not that old, but
he's pretty close in football years.
In football years, yeah.
He moves like a 64-year-old.
I've had a mustache since I was 17.
Oh, Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew.
Okay,
right?
that's my number one.
Yeah, so Gardner Minshew, and I'm going to tell you, he's got heart.
Oh yeah,
the kid's got heart. And
I think in this offense,
if my son's listening, he's going to get mad at me because Gardner's on the Eagles right now. And
no, he's a free agent.
I know, but he's the Eagle guy now, right? Yeah. And he was like, Dad, it's the mustache guy, and he's all about, he likes Gardner, he loves him.
Perfect backup, man.
And so he's going to say, what are you trying to steal our quarterback? So sorry about that, Steve. That's Steve Jr. Sorry about that. Stealing. So my number one pick is clearly Gardner. And it doesn't hurt that he has the
stash.
The same stash.
Yes, the porn stash is what I call it.
Not a porn stash.
Oh, his looks like a porn stash. Yours doesn't look like a porn stash, but his looks like a porn stash.
That's because mine has gray in it.
Right? No, and his hooks a little bit.
He hooks a little more.
Yeah. That's when it becomes porn stash. When it goes this way, that's it. It's porn stash.
In the beginning here, when I used to come in, into the poker room, we're all the casinos, like whether they're on the slot floor or the poker floor, we have radios and they're in an earpiece, right? And they would all go, they'd say, oh, boss is in the building, but they don't say the boss.
The stash
is in the building. Like, I'm not going to figure it out.
Right. Yes.
I think you got to get a little more creative. Like I was actually disappointed. Like some other nickname would have been better, but so anyhow, Gardner is my choice. And
who's the second one?
So, who did I say on that one?
You got.
I think Taylor Heineke's pretty tough.
Okay, yeah, I think
Heineke's as a player. I don't have any connection with a stash or anything, but I think
he's my third.
Pretty good player.
I like Dalton, believe it or not, as a backup.
Yeah,
you got to separate starter from backup.
No, I understand. You're paying him less money.
I told my buddy, he goes, "Oh man," I go, "Hey, bro, he's not starting. He's your backup."
All right, so
okay.
Can I just throw some controversy on the podcast?
And by the way, he played well for New Orleans this year.
No, I know, but I got a different direction, but quarterback related. Miami quarterback related.
Yes.
So you're gonna say no, but this is a theory. My wife.
Oh God.
Lamar Jackson. My wife has this theory, and she's got some pretty good rationale.
Okay.
She's got some pretty. She's a Dolphin fan. She's very good.
Is this like my wife picking horses? Oh, that one looks beautiful. Bet on that one.
But it has a pretty decent logic. So she's thinking, I don't know how, Tom Brady is going to end up in Miami because of the kids. Because of the kids. The school in Miami, they live over in the island here, over the beach, and the ex-wife's going to live on the beach, and it's just going to make his life easier so he can have a family life. And
I don't think he cares about that much as much as you all think.
Well, unfortunately, you might be right.
Let me just.
This is my wife's theory.
Let me run this by you guys out there, okay? Because I did this to my wife yesterday. I go, he had a baby with Bridget Moynihan and dumped her.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now he has 2 babies with this woman, a woman that stuck by you the entire time and then went with you to Tampa, where obviously you must have told her, hey, give me these 2 years to prove myself.
Know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. Maybe she just stayed. Maybe she should have been a little more, supportive. One or 2 more years.
I don't know what more support.
Come on,
remember,
1 or 2 more years.
And that's the other thing that you also have to understand. She's not a normal woman.
No, she's
a successful professional woman.
Half a billionaire or billionaire.
Yeah, she's got way more money than him. But my point is that she's a self-made woman. Yeah. She's a powerhouse herself. So she already also, she has done a lot to just sacrifice for you. Because put it this way, she's as successful in her business as you were in yours.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Actually, you know what I'm saying?
And made more money
because she's a world-class model, man. And so now she has done all this sacrificing for you. Now you have chosen football over her and the kids. And now you have this little young hottie now, Veronica Radchek or whatever her name is. Veronica Radchek.
I didn't know about the hottie.
Oh, you haven't seen? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm a little out of touch.
The hottie came out 2 days ago, just like Gisele Bündchen. No, she pulled a Gisele Bündchen. She goes, Tom can't play all the positions.
Oh, that's what she tweeted or something. Oh, Jesus. But listen, what you're saying is actually supporting my wife's theory.
No, I think if anything, he just wants to play, but it's not about the kids. Yeah, and by the way, I think Miami has moved on from that after getting in trouble with him.
It's gonna be hard to bring him here,
right? Yeah. And then those guys would not have made the commitment to Tua publicly like that if the owner was in the background going, "We're going after Tom Brady," because the owner owns the team. So those guys would have to say,
and by the way,
sir, we're going after him.
By the way, he's 46 now. He's going to be 46. So
I think it's a disaster wherever he goes. I think he falls off the cliff now.
Anyhow,
I think he was falling off the cliff this year.
Listen, my wife, I love her dearly. Her theory is Brady's coming to the Dolphins.
But think about it. He's left 2 women with kids.
Yeah, so I'll have to share that with her tonight. I'm going to share that with her tonight. You think he's going to retire and go Fox?
Dude,
probably what he should do.
I just talked about this earlier in the week. I got a job in San Francisco years ago before my daughter was born, and it didn't last. Lasted 6 months. They filed for Chapter 11, so I flew back and got a job right away at QAM. And when I got back, and we were having my daughter, I said, "We're moving to this house and we're staying here, and I'm not moving around because I went to a kindergarten that didn't belong to the elementary that I went to, that didn't belong to the next private school I went to, who then I went to another private school, and then I went to another junior high, who then I went to another junior high in another part of the county, and then I went to a high school. I never went to any school that was tied to the other, where it was the same kids going from one school.
Your social life, your world.
I had to kind of adjust all the time, and I did it. I got through it, and it's not the end of the world for me, but it might be for a lot of other kids. And I didn't know if it was. I don't know if it was going to be tough for my daughter, but I told my wife, I ain't doing this. I'm staying here.
Avoid it. It's admirable.
I'll make it happen here one way or another, but I am not moving for my daughter. I want her to stay in the same area growing up with all. So for me, that was important. Now, again, I'm not a quarterback. I'm not being offered millions and millions of dollars.
No, but I don't think it's about the money for him.
But yeah, it's just.
I don't know what it's about, to be honest with you. But I'm going to switch because
it's about him.
I'm going to end with
this
one.
Point.
I'm going to end with this one. So before I was a Dolphins fan, I was a Giants fan, and still am a little connected to the Giants.
It's on the other conference. You're fine.
So, thank you.
You know how many people are like that in this town?
Yeah, exactly.
How many of the transplants we have in this town?
They got 2 teams, right? So
We're the minorities that are actually born and raised here, bro.
actual Floridians, right?
Yeah.
So think about it. This guy Dable did a job.
Oh my God, phenomenal.
Unbelievable. And Danny Diamonds is playing like he's never played before.
Yeah.
Right? Danny Diamonds is on fire. Saquon's healthy, and he always was a beast, but
Do they
never
pay
helped.
him? No.
I think you got to pay him. Come on, it's not between him. He's actually more of the team, at least for the next 3 years. I think.
Are you sure he's going to be there for 3 years? Because he's had so many injuries.
I know, but you can't give him a 5-year. You got to give him like a 3. You know, I don't think he'll take anything less than 3. So maybe I think hats off to the Giants.
He looks good.
The Giants look good, and I'm
Dable
happy
did
for
an
them.
Outstanding.
I mean, he has basically the same team that was 4-13 last year.
Yeah,
and
coaching, bro.
Yeah,
coaching,
unbelievable, and just hats off to him. I think that back to the Dolphins. I think that the Dolphins had a nice year. It was a respectable
many
performance.
Just,
but I've always said the problem with Tua. I think he's phenomenal, really phenomenal. He's a winner at heart. He just is going to, unfortunately, has a history of missing like 30% of the games or 25% of your games.
I get it.
Tough to win when your best player is, or one of your best players is out 30%. So
and it's the toughest position to fill. Because that's
Exactly.
where I laugh at people. Oh, well, get rid of him, and I go, okay, so who are you bringing in?
Yeah, what are you bringing in?
Outside of Aaron Rodgers, there's nothing else to bring in.
That's the thing too. That's been said. That's
There's
been rumored for Miami
nothing
too.
else.
That's been rumored for Miami. I hope not.
They have cap issues over there that to trade him. They would take hits, and then Miami doesn't really have. You're going to give up a bunch of picks and all that.
Listen, I've never really liked him. I think I respect that. He's
His
very
talent
good.
is amazing.
He's a very good quarterback. I don't think he's not the kind of guy I like to root for because he's not like, he's not that team kind of guy.
No, he's a me guy.
Even.
I mean, look at him now. Did you see him now? Who was the other day that was going after him? Gronk. Because he says, in the right situation, I can win an MVP. And Gronk's like, bro, you should be thinking about winning a Super Bowl, not an MVP.
Yeah, that's
me. That's
Yeah.
a me thing to do.
He's totally selfish.
Like, who gives a
narcissistic.
shit about an MVP, dude?
It's literally
like
a
nobody
trophy,
talks about
trophy
that.
in your shelf that you never's gonna ever look at again. But
Nobody talks about that. We talk about your championship.
yeah, and
you know
what
what I
about
mean? When Zoe won the championship against Dallas Mavericks, and we talk about his efforts and all that. By the way, he was Defensive Player of the Year also once. Okay, that's great, and it's
that's
fine.
Nice to get that.
But what you did in Dallas was a hell of a lot more important any day of the year. And ask Zoe, and he'll tell you the same thing. He won't give a shit about the Defensive Player of the Year. He'll care about the damn NBA title he won.
Somebody needs to remind Aaron that it's a team sport. Yeah. You know what I mean? That there's 45 guys on a roster. There's 11 guys that's starting on each side of the game, on each side of the ball. But at any rate, it was great seeing you guys. I can tell you, February 24th again, fantastic boxeo.
Boxeo
Cubano.
Boxeo
Cubano 3.
Right. Just say boxeo
Cubano. And we're giving away the Mercedes on April 1st. And I'm sure I'll see you before then. Next week.
You got it. Yes. Come back in the afternoon again.
All right,
we'll
boss.
See you on Thursday.
Take care.
Appreciate you.
All righty. And Tom Brady.
And by the way, as we get closer to the fights, we'll get some of the fighters or some of the promoters on and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
To talk, and we'll have some tickets too. We'll give
and
away.
If my wife's right about Brady, we got to give her like a steak dinner or something, or one of your sponsors or something.
Something.
All righty. Take care, man.
Right, baby.
Adios.
There you go. The great Steve Calabro, baby. Hi, Aaliyah Park. Getting it done. We're out here in the second floor poker room. So come on out. Wow, they're going to give away a Mercedes. How about that? They gave away the Alfa Romero was super sweet. The F-150 was awesome. And now they're giving away a Mercedes. That's all you got to do, by the way, is you go downstairs and play in the gaming machines, the slot machines, and you're automatically entered. Every time you play, it's an entry. So you go down there, you get your card, and get your credits and get it going, and then get as many entries as you can, and you might win that Mercedes on April Fool's Day. What else do we have here? Josh says, I'm going next year's Super Bowl to see the Dolphins win it in Vegas, baby. I'm with you. I'll be there with you. Sean will be there. If it's Vegas, That guy right there, he's all Vegas. He's just there, the In-N-Out burgers. By the way, did you ever like give a review of the In-N-Out burgers? Did you enjoy them? Was that your first time at it, or you had been there before? You already had In-N-Out somewhere else.
No, it was my first time, but I was so hungry I scarfed them down. I didn't get to enjoy it.
But didn't we eat twice there?
Yeah, but both times was after like we did.
It was late night.
Yeah, well, the late night was the one when I flew in.
Yeah, when we flew in.
And then the other one was right after.
That's right.
The
when
long day
you flew in. That's right.
And then the other one was right after the long day at the
draft.
At the summer league.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I had fun at the summer league.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. That was a cool experience. We got to do that again next year. That's going to be a lot of fun. I like it. And In-N-Out, by the way, they'll have next year or this year sometime they open in Nashville. That's the farthest east that In-N-Out Burgers is going right now. They're opening up in Nashville. I'm not exactly sure the date next year or this year, sometime this year when they open. But for those of you that, just in case, if you plan on going to Nashville in the next year or two, you like In-N-Out Burger, you might want to catch up there with a little In-N-Out Burger. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? So Josh Boyer and Steve Gregory and Ty McKenzie have been fired as coaches for the Miami Dolphins. The special teams coach is still here, Danny Crossman. Pat Surtain leaves the team to take the job as FSU's secondary coach. That's a hell of a recruiter they just picked up. Because remember, he was at American Heritage. So he's been able to obviously, entrench himself in the high school deal. So that's pretty cool for him. What else do we have going on? Jeremy Fowler, by the way, agrees with me. He thinks that Sean Payton's best option is the Texans. And we talked about this yesterday. Some of the teams, Carolina, that were interested in him. And I forgot the other teams now. But to me, Houston was, Denver and Arizona. And if I'm Sean Payton, why do you want the baggage of Russell Wilson at this point? Why do you want the baggage of Kyler Murray? And Carolina still doesn't have a quarterback. So why would you want to go there? Where Houston, they don't have a quarterback, but they have the number 2 pick. I think they have the 12th or 15th pick also in the draft. So they have 2 of the early picks in the draft. And they have 11 draft picks overall in this draft and $40 million in cap space. So they've got all that they need in order for him to set a foundation. By the way, Sean Payton is looking for $20 to $25 million a year. So your team also has to be ready to pay him a lot of money. Like the chart, people, you remember a lot of people said that they would fire the the Chargers coach, and they would hire Sean Payton to go for Herbert. You think that the Chargers owner is going to pay $20 to $25 million per year for a coach? Dude, he won't even fire the current coach he has now because he has to then pay him for a couple of years, Brandon Staley. So he adjusted by firing some of the assistants instead. It's the weirdest thing. So, what's that? I know when Herbert's deal comes up. Yeah, it's a year from now that you have to pay him. They're going to have to pick up the 5th-year option, and then you're going to pay him, and then it's going to and that team, oh my God, that will limit what they do around him because they're cheap. Because they've got to keep the money that they give Herbert guaranteed, they have to put it in escrow. It's not like $35 million guaranteed next year, $35 million guaranteed the following year, and $35 million guaranteed the other year, and it's $105 million. Oh no, yeah, I'll pay it. No. The $105 million go into an account. You have to have that cash and put it in an escrow because the player it's guaranteed. So you might file bankruptcy. You might lose all your money. You might lose your business, and then you can't pay them. You file Chapter 11, and you say, too bad, so sad. You can't do that in the NFL. Once you guarantee the contract, whatever portions of the contract that are guaranteed, that money must be in escrow. You must part ways with that money, and it goes in escrow, and then it goes to the player once it's the time. That's how that thing is done. So your owner has to have cash, liquid. It can't all be credit. You won't be able to get away with it. And with the Chargers, that's going to be a major problem. Troy Ortiz says, oh, don't the Texans have bad ownership and a bad GM? Well, he's probably going to put the GM in place. No, the ownership group has money. They have money. They're just bad because they can't figure out what to do. There's lots of owners like that. If they hire Sean Payton, then that should be the right guy. I mean, listen, is Wayne Huizenga a bad owner because he failed with Jimmy and he failed with Parcells and he failed with Saban? No. He just couldn't find the right combinations. And sometimes that happens too. It doesn't mean necessarily you're a bad owner. You're trying, but it's just not working out. It sucks. Only the Dolphins, only my beloved team, could hire 3 guys that are like Hall of Fame caliber coaches, and all 3 would fail miserably for the Dolphins. Only the Dolphins. Only. Oh, we got Jimmy. So. We got Saban. So. We got Parcells. So. And I was as excited as all of you were with all 3 of them. And look how it turned out. My God. Sometimes our luck has been just absolutely brutal, dude. Brutal. Zachary says, I had In-N-Out Burger in San Diego. It was good, but nothing amazing. Well, for fast food, I think it is absolutely delicious, bro. It is the bomb. I wish we had one here. I'd get in trouble all the time going there. Next season, the Dolphins will be more McDaniel's team. This season, just the offense was. Well, hopefully he hires the right people in those other positions. That's very important. Big O, thoughts on DeMeco Ryans if he doesn't get a head coaching job? Well, if he doesn't get a head coaching job, he'll still be a defensive coordinator. And in the end, I believe he's the defensive coordinator for San Francisco, right? Yeah, if not, he will stay there as the defensive coordinator. But I don't know if he can be a head coach. Just because you're a great coordinator doesn't mean you're going to be a great head coach. You know what I'm saying? So for now, he's an exceptional coordinator. Let's see what happens. Can he put a staff together? You know, Brian Flores knows defense. Could he build an offensive staff? No. He tried for 3 years and he couldn't do it. Changed over and over again. And we talked about this last year. If you're a head coach in the NFL, you got to be able to build a staff and replace it. Because you're going to lose people to promotions. You're going to fire people. They're going to retire. Whatever it is. They're going to go to college. Whatever. You're going to lose people almost every year on your staff. Rarely will your staff come back intact. So you're going to have to replace this secondary coach or this outside linebacker or the middle linebacker coach. Or you're going to have to replace the running backs coach or the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator. That's just the way it goes. It's like a CEO of a company. You lose this general manager that does an outstanding job with sales and knows how to run the sales staff for you. Now you lost him or her. They go somewhere else. Now you've got to elevate the next person or hire the next person to be as good or better. And if you don't, you failed as a CEO, that you could not hire and identify the kind of managers you need under you in order to keep everything going status quo. And that's the great part about leadership. You have to be able to identify the people that can do the job and then excel with those people, But eventually, you're going to lose some of them. And now you're going to have to find the next person that can excel in that spot. And that's why Brian Flores was a absolute failure with the Miami Dolphins. Besides, he had no people skills, but the other stuff was he couldn't build a staff. And if Shanahan, who keeps losing coaches, he has to keep replacing them. And he's doing a good job of that overall. That's part of the game. And McDaniel now will have to replace the guys he has. So whoever's next has got to be, better than Josh Boyer. Because if not, a lot of you are going to say, well, Josh Boyer kept him in games last year. DF says your staff only comes back if it's Godsey or Studsville. Why did the Dolphins get rid of Boyer? It wasn't his fault. The defense was so injured. Yeah, it's not his guy. So listen, new people, man. That's just kind of the way it goes. When sports and business collide, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA, Sports Business Report. Right, listen to this one. This is a little crazy. Usain Bolt has reportedly lost $12 million in a Jamaican financial scandal. Bolt is one of over 30 clients who invested with Stocks and Securities Limited, which is said to have lost $1.2 billion after recently fired wealth advisor siphoned off funds from clients. Bolt claims that he had about $12.7 million in his accounts as of October 31st. That is my date of birth. I got to the party. I did the Smurf. His accounts were down to $12,000 when he checked on January 11th after being alerted of the fraud. The attorney for the 36-year-old former track star sent a letter Monday threatening a lawsuit if funds are not returned to Bolt's account within 10 days. Jamaica's regulatory authority, the Financial Services Commission, has since cracked down and stopped Stocks and Securities Limited from taking on new deposits or making any new trades. Bolt seemed to address the situation with a tweet sent on Monday, which he said his money was not the root of evil. In a world of lies, where is the truth? The history evil. What is the root? Money? And they put hashtag cryptic world. $12 million. Damn. That dude works hard for his money, bro. $12 million. I hope they have the money to replace it. And that's what goes on at times with investment firms and things like that. I know because crypto's gone through the same thing, just like bank. It's funny because you watch this idiot from JP Morgan, and he's talking about crypto and kind of downplaying it and saying that it's a what's it called? It's a pet rock or something like that he was saying, right? And it's funny because JP Morgan was fined millions of dollars by the SEC for trying to manipulate silver. And then they were fined millions and millions more for another scandal years before that. And it just shows you how crooked all this kind of stuff is. And again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but it's just funny because I just think they kind of try to manipulate the public. And I see it now, with the whole crypto thing, because, they tell, oh, Bitcoin's not this, that. And meanwhile, in the background, they're out there buying it up. And they're trying to tell you not to buy it so the price stays down and they can take advantage. And then when it skyrockets, then everybody else wants to get in on it. And then, of course, people that maybe had an opportunity to set their futures up got scared because people like Jamie, whatever the guy's name from JP Morgan, all they're doing is lying and manipulating the public all the freaking time. And by the way, anybody that was part of a company that is trying to manipulate silver, then, I'm not here to believe you in anything that you say. Jamie Dimon, that's it, Gary. Thank you. Appreciate it. That moron. What's the root of all evil, money or women? I'll just go with evil. Evil is the root of all evil. You could be married and just say, honey, I want a divorce, and you divorce. Instead, you try to slice her up into pieces. That's evil. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go with just evil. Money doesn't make you evil. That's up to you if you want to become evil. Women aren't going to make you evil. It's up to you if you allow them to make you evil. So I'm not going to use them as the root of the problem. The root of the problem comes from within. Okay? It's up to one person if he wants to go stake out a house constantly to then break in the middle of the night and kill 4 people. That's evil. That's pretty bad. And did you see that story of the guy that cut up his wife? Brother, he got his kid's iPad and put on the search, and it's there in the memory of the search engine, how to dispose of a body, how long does it take to decompose, can you be charged with murder if they can't find the body, like all these things that do people realize that you have a digital imprint everywhere you go nowadays? It's really amazing. That story is crazy, dude. Like, whatever really happened to just, hey, I want a divorce. It sucks. You go through the heartache and the heartbreak, and you fight through the adversity, and life moves on, even though you may not think life is going to move on at that moment. When you lose somebody, when you break up with somebody, when your business goes down, you lose your job, whatever it is, life is going to move on. You're going to have a chance to move on, and it's like the weirdest thing now. It's like the craze of, oh, no, I'm not going to get divorced. I'm just going to kill you. Weird, man. So I'll just go with evil is evil, period. I'll keep it that way. Let's see. What made you come up with the Big O Show? You haven't been in a bedroom with me and women. That's probably what it is, sir. I mean, obviously, right? I mean, it's only reason it would be called the Big O Show. Ask her. There you go. We thank Alex Winley. We thank Marcel Louis-Jacques. We thank David Feronis. Steve Calabro, of course. Frank Fiore, the Brunetti family. As always, beautiful. Thank you to the Brunetti family, as always, for supporting our platform every single day. And, of course, we thank all the great folks out here at Hialeah Park for making it nice and easy for us to broadcast every day. Tomorrow, we'll be on at 10 a.m. like we normally are. Only Thursdays, we do the 3 to 6 deal. And we'll be at the KSDT CPA offices right there. You see it right there. That's where we're going to be, up in Dadeland. No, you can't visit us there. Although, if you want to come use KSDT and, you want to, have them take care of your taxes for your home or your business, and you haven't contact them tomorrow and tell them you want to come by to, pick up their business and visit our show too. And they'll bring you in to the kitchen. Brother, that kitchen is half the size of this casino's second floor here. I mean, it is crazy. It is a big ass room. All right. Maybe not half, but it's like 3,000 square feet. I mean, it is just ginormous. It's a beautiful kitchen. Anyway, we thank all of you out there for tuning in. Those of you that sent in a super chat, if you reached out to us on Cash App or Venmo, that is Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. You can make a donation there anytime. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. It is very important. We thank you all for your support. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.